Let's go, drinks on Dusty, let's start the show. Drinks on Dusty, coming in hot, coming in to blow up the spot. The guests be picking, what we be drinking, we don't know what Dusty is thinking. We are here to have a good time, see where the convo may just climb. Sit back, put your drinks up, go on y'all, fill up your cup. Drinks on Dusty, let's go. Come on y'all, start the show. Oh no. Woo!
All right, everybody, welcome to this newest episode of Drinks on Dusty. I am your favorite drinking, drunken podcast host, Dusty, and we are having a very, I know I say this every time, but this is an even more special episode today, okay? Now, let me tell you why this is a new special episode. We're continuing this whole theme on having my people on the podcast. And again, to refresh all of your lovelies memories, the my people is meaning my closest friends in my entire life. So my family, the closest people that know so much about me, that have been with me for a long ass time. You know, they keep on riding the Dusty train until the wheels fall off. Okay. So they're still here. We're having a good old time. But today I have one of my best friends, somebody that's going to be up there if I was getting married, which probably will never happen. But if it did happen, he's going to be right there. He's been one of my best friends since we met our freshman year in college. He works with children. He used to be a part of a show choir. He hung out with a bunch of theater people. But most importantly, he's one of my closest friends in the entire world, Jake Morman.
Hey!
Jake Morman, as I like to call you, Jakey Jake. Welcome to
Jake and the Funky Bunch.
Jakey Jake and the Funky Bunch. Jake, welcome to fucking
Thank
Drinks
you.
on Dusty, man.
I am so excited.
As you fucking should be. You should be excited, Jake, because as we know, I am the number 15th rate podcast in the entire world. Facts. Look it up.
I believe it.
Should. But we got a special episode. I'm excited to talk to you. I haven't talked to you in a little while. And it's fucking exciting, man. You're going to be the first person out of our closest friend group that we have that's on the podcast. That I've kind of taken some time to have onto the podcast. So a little pressure.
Yeah, I was just going to say no pressure. Nothing.
We're also going back to the old school because you sadly don't live in New York City.
I know.
So we're throwing it back to when the podcast first started, and we're doing this on the good old fashioned Zoom.
We're doing it COVID style. Let's go.
Doing it COVID style. So, Jake, if you could describe your excitement for being on this podcast in one word, what would it be, Jake?
In one word?
In one word. And if you say the word excitement, I'm going to kill you.
I can't use excited and explain how excited.
Yeah, you can't use it. Can't use it.
One word. Beyond.
Beyond. Ooh,
excited.
Because we're about to beyond your ass. Something like that. No. Okay.
I liked it.
You liked it a little bit. Okay. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today, Jakey. We're going to talk mostly a lot about our relationship, our closeness, our friendship. It's been through peaks and valleys. It's been through so much. We've seen so much together. We've done so much bullshit together. We have some weird ass stories that I can't wait to go on, and maybe we're fucking refresh my goddamn memory now on what fucking even happened some of the times. But I'm excited to have you on, man. I'm excited to talk, excited to connect. So first, let's give everybody a little snippet on who is Jake Morman.
Jake Morman.
Who is Jake Morman?
Well, unlike popular opinion, I am not a Mormon. I am spelled Morman.
Yeah, I spelled that wrong 3 times.
Another fun fact, everyone who meets me, the first question they ask is, are you Mormon? Unfortunately, I am not. I wish. I think that would make it 10 times cooler if I was, but yeah. I'm not. Also, another fun fact, twin, there's 2 of me.
There's 2 of you. Shout out.
And I am living in Omaha, Nebraska. I've been living here all of my life. I was the one of my siblings who said, I'm going to move the furthest away from Elkhorn. And I did not. I'm still here, 6 minutes away from my parents. But
awesome.
I tried. I went to Lincoln for school, so I was the closest for going to school. I failed at that miserably, but here we are.
You didn't want to leave the nest, Jake. That's okay.
You know, someone has to stay for the parents,
Someone
and
does.
I made the sacrifice. I did it.
You did it. You took that burden, and that's what I say about my sister. I'm like, you're the one that's fucking there. Like, I decided to leave. Little Dusty flew out of the nest. You stayed by. That's all you now. You got to take care of it.
and you like dipped. You're gone.
I'm gone. I'm not even close.
You're like, I can't even drive to you, really. So
No,
good luck. Good luck seeing me.
Good luck. Have a good one.
It's an expensive flight just to see me, so no big deal.
It is. You still have never been here, motherfucker.
I know.
You gotta get to NYC.
You know, here's the thing. I have a lot of cities and countries that I have to go to visit friends, and it's gonna happen. One of these days it will happen.
Think so?
I hope so. Is that a good answer?
No, you will.
And yes, as you said, I work with kids. I work at a before and after school program, which Dustin actually kind of does a very similar thing. I do. In college, he did almost the exact same thing. The Lincoln equivalent to what I'm doing in Elkhorn.
Oh, a bunch of hanging out with those assholes at Huntington Elementary and fucking
that was
dickweeds.
I think you actually might have started your job before I started mine.
Oh yeah.
Because I think I started sophomore year and you were there freshman year.
I was there freshman year. So my whole schedule, my freshman year of college was do one, like we had a rehearsal, like the whole second semester was a rehearsal in the morning for a Shakespeare show, go to classes, be done by like 1:32, go work for 3 hours, and then when I was done, go fucking drink.
and have 3 shots set up for you.
3 shots. I can't wait to get into that kind of shit, Jake. I really cannot get into that. I can't wait to get into that. So that's a little bit about Jake Morman. Yep. And Jake, what the fuck are we drinking today?
We are having rum and coke. I know it's a basic drink, but let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I picked rum and coke.
Bring that calm degree out, bruh.
Years ago, back when I first started drinking, it might have actually been you, but someone said, Jake, you have to have a drink of choice.
Like you have to have a go-to drink.
You have to have a go-to drink. And
that also, very much probably was. I'm going to take
also
a good chance that was me.
I had a difficult time choosing because both of my choices are actually derived from you. So I knew they both would be perfect for this show because my beer of choice is Coors Light, which is because of Dustin. He drank it religiously, and so I became a fan of it. But I thought I had to do something more than Coors, so I did rum and coke.
Yeah, you've been a rum and coke fan for a long time.
Yeah, see, I'm ride or die. I literally, it was the first thing I picked, and I haven't faltered from it since.
That is one of the things I wanted to like talk about. You are definitely one of those people, Jake, that it's like when you like something, you're doing it until for some reason you woke up and there's a cricket in your sandwich, and then you wouldn't maybe eat it anymore. But like you're the same thing. You want that like kind of like the old faithful. You're all about it.
I love change, apparently. So,
well, do you think like what is it about like certain things? If you like it, you're just like I'm fucking because I'm similar to that too. It's like we go to Applebee's, like that's why when we went to Applebee's together, it's like same thing, 2 for $20. Fucking we get the mod sticks because why the fuck else would we not?
20.
Always the 2 for $20. Always the mod sticks appetizers, fucking chicken fingers and fries, like same shit. And I'm kind of like that a lot too. Like I don't like to go. I might say I don't want to say adventurous, but I'll go do some random shit more. But like you very much, you'll stick with things until the wheels fall off.
I think it's either pride or stubbornness, and not quite sure which one is worse. But I mean, I pick a lane and I stick with it.
You stick with it. Have you ever pick something that you're just like going to keep going with it, but in your head you're like, this really isn't even that fucking good, like a chip that you're like, but I liked it for a while, but I'm still just eating that chips even though you fucking hate it?
Not food related, but one of my friends from Elkhorn, actually there was two of us, and we were sitting around the table drinking. Apparently all my greatest ideas come from drinking.
Always.
But we all know, huge football fan. I watch all football all the time. Ride or die football fan. But we were just sitting there and we were like, okay, you have to pick your favorite football team, because even if you don't really care that much, at least you can have one that is your favorite. And I go, bet. So I picked the Chargers.
I didn't even think I knew that you picked the Chargers.
I don't talk about it much because it's not something that I'm like, this is my life.
This is my life.
Yeah, so football team, Chargers, which I realized later in life. This was probably 2011 that I picked the Chargers. And I never knew why until maybe a couple of years ago. I realized that the show Psych.
Oh yeah, you're a huge fan of that show.
Huge shout out to Adam, our favorite person. He also likes Psych. And I don't think it's the Chargers, but they have a team in the show, and it's a lightning bolt, and it's blue and yellow. So if it isn't the Chargers, it's supposed to be like the Chargers, or it is. I haven't seen.
Oh yeah, because they can't pay for that shit in those shows like that, so they have to be like, these are the Los Angeles Changers. And you're like, okay, yeah, barely changed the name. I'm like, yeah, it's the same thing. We get it.
But so I think Psych is one of my all-time favorite shows. As the shows that you have that you grew up on.
Yeah,
that is one of them. It has a special place in my heart, and I think subconsciously I just picked the Chargers because of that.
Because of the show. So yeah, do you think that you like things to stay the same a lot, Jakey? Yeah. Are you afraid to change, Jake?
I think so.
You want to get real right now?
I think, quite honestly, what I've realized, because you and I both are experiencing this, we're getting close to 30. Like, I'm
fucking 19.
It's coming up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, you're 19. But 19. Yeah, it's I have come to realize that I just don't think I like change, and I don't want. There's something about, and friends that are turning 29, 28, they go, yeah, I really, there's nothing wrong with being this age. I'm not concerned about 30. I go, you're going to think about this a lot when you actually hit 29 and you're halfway through it and you start realizing I'm turning 30 and what do I have to show for it?
Do you, dude, I fucking, God damn it. I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I think I'm like halfway there. I'm like 6 months ish away from turning 30. And I'm like, what the fuck have I been doing? Or there's a lot of those like question marks. I start to think about things where I'm like, why did I do things like that? What the fuck is wrong with me? I should be at this other way. I think I tend to I'll look at other things and be like, oh fuck, I should have my own house with a family and 3 kids and everything. And I'm fucking in New York. But like, I've tried very hard to be like, dude, everyone has their own journey and shit. And I think where we're from, like we see like people, they don't leave that state, man. So like they do one thing and then they just keep on. That's what their path is. But I think I've gotten better at knowing that like where I'm at 30 is different than where this person is at their 30 or whatever. But how do you feel on like, you're still pretty nervous about it?
Turning 30?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't like it, but like I said, I think it's because I don't feel that I have the basic things that you're supposed to have at 30, and I, like you, am trying to tell myself it doesn't matter. 30 is just an age.
Yeah, but who's to say like what those basic things are though? What does that mean? Like
that's true.
Who fucking
shout out to Emma Watson.
The one from Harry Potter?
She talked about the one from Harry Potter. She actually said those exact words. She goes, I think turning 30, just everyone's like, you're supposed to have a house, you're supposed to be married, you're supposed to have kids. And, who's to say what turning 30 actually is supposed to be like? And I think about it constantly.
Yeah, I think that's pretty spot on, because I'm like, fuck, man. I definitely thought maybe at one point, because when we're getting shit canned at 21 years old in a fucking college dorm, we're like, fuck, 30? God, Jesus, I'm probably gonna be married and 8 kids by that point.
Well, and you and I feel had several conversations at the age of 18 or 19 saying, oh, as soon as we can have kids, we're having kids. Like, we want kids, we want to be a dad. and look at us now.
Look at us now. Fucking I mean, also, that's so interesting. Go ahead.
Don't really want a kid right now, so
it's
funny how things change.
I know, right? I've had that talk a few times where, like, I mean, I know that I still want to be a dad.
Oh, for sure.
I know right now, I'm like, I don't even fucking, like, I got so much shit I'm trying to like deal with and grow things on my own that I don't want to have a kid until I feel more ready in my own lane. I'm like, I don't fucking even know if I'm gonna be in New York in a year and a half. Like, I might completely, I don't know.
You moving back to Nebraska?
Who fucking knows, man? It gets more appealing every fucking day sometimes. I'm like, fuck it. I was on the subway train today. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck away from me.
I know right when COVID hit and you came back in July or sometime in the summer, and you just constantly were like, maybe I'll just stay. I won't go back.
I fucking won't go back, man. It takes, oh man, it can take a lot out of you. But I mean, it's pros and cons, man. Like, this is where I've built my life. This is where I've been like growing in a company. This is where I've made certain dreams come true. This is where I'm still pursuing certain things. And so it's hard to be like, now I'm just going to end that and then restart somewhere else. That's probably my biggest nerve-wracking thing with coming to be 30 is I feel like I've already built this whole thing. And if I change everything now, I'm like, fuck, man, you're not 22 anymore. Like, you're starting from, you should still be at a certain place. Like, if I leave a job, I should have a job that pays me the exact amount that I'm making now. Like, so it's that there's little things where, like, if I left a job, I wouldn't give a fuck. Now I'm like, I've built myself up in a company making a certain amount of money. And now I'm like, I don't fucking want to leave to drop down from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's hard to leave when you know how much the company has done for you.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
To think, if I go somewhere else, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be as great of an experience? Am I going to get paid as much? I was talking to my sister the other day because she has moved around in jobs a lot, not because she just can't stick with it. She just is constantly wanting something better. And she goes, well, the thing is, you look at a yearly raise at your company is probably 3% increase. But if you move to a different job, it could potentially be a 10%, 20% increase. She goes, what does that say about how companies take care of you? And I go, that's very accurate.
I remember, I mean, that is so interesting because sometimes I remember this one interview I had, or not an interview, but it was a check-in on it was like one of the yearly review things. And I was like, I was going to say, I want this amount of money. I want this much for a raise. And I knew I was going to get a raise. Like, I fucking, like, there's no reason not to. But I remember this one asshole that was working there, that was my supervisor at the time. He made a comment where he had said, well, so this is how you get raises, that you're doing something above and beyond your job title. And then he was giving me this thing. And then I had said, kid, I respectfully semi disagree with that. I think that might be part of it. But I think giving me a raise, someone that is excelling in what they're doing, and you can't afford to lose me, that's why you're giving me a raise, just so that I don't leave.
Yep.
And then that was like, that's how it should be looked at. You're taking care of people that know what they're doing, so you don't have to put all the effort in. Because, like, even when you're training people, you're putting so much effort into training them how to do something, and you need to just take care of the people that are very good. You're like, stars, keep them fucking here, and so that they can keep growing. Like, that's just weird to me that people wouldn't think that way.
I agree.
Shut it down. Let's go into our first time meeting. All right, Jakey?
Sure. One of my favorite stories ever.
Favorite stories. How well do you remember that story?
Are we talking the very first time that I met you?
I mean, if you know the exact first time,
do.
I think I remember like the
It
whole
was
our whole. Go
it
ahead.
was traumatic for me, so I remember it.
Yeah, give us so we're both freshmen in college,
Yes.
living
Well,
in the same dorm.
yeah, this is probably like during orientation week, so before school even starts.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, because we lived on the same floor in our dorm, so not the same pod, but the way our dorms were set up, you could literally look out our windows and they were looking into each other's windows.
Yeah, there's just like this little hallway of something where like it's separated another pod, but like so like Jake was in one pod, I was in another one, but we were on the same floor in the same building. Yes, continue.
And I was, our friend Winston was my roommate, but he was at a theater camp the first week at least of school. So I had nobody, and my parents dropped me off. They moved me in, and they're maybe there an hour, and they're like, all right, see ya, have fun.
Were they really like, get the fuck out, dude? We don't.
They were not there that long, and I didn't know what to do. I think there were 5 people from Elkhorn that were going to Wesleyan that year.
Yeah.
And I was close with some of them. I mean, I was close enough with all of them, but nobody that I was really that close with that I could call up and be like, hey, I have no one to talk to. Can I come hang out with you? So I became friends with Alex Flint. Well, him and I went to high school together. So I hung out with him, and Alex had met Christian Munoz. So
name dropping on this whole
podcast. I'm just name
drop all of them. Love
we can censor all of those names.
Nah, dude, they can get shout outs to the pod. They can get shout out to y'all.
And so Christian and I became pretty good friends, and we were just hanging out first week of orientation, and we were in someone else's dorm room.
Okay.
Not anyone related to the story, and we were just hanging out, and all of a sudden you come walking in, backwards cap. I think you had a jersey on, and you walk in with someone else, and you just walk by, you shake your hand, you're like, I'm Dustin Sutliff, nice to meet you. I'm Dustin Sutliff, nice to meet you. And then you dip out, and we're like, okay, that was weird. And we come to find out that you live literally right next to us. And so then we start hanging out in your dorm room, because I think we were friends with your roommate.
Greg. Shout out to Greg.
Yeah.
Shout out to no hand Greg.
And you were in there, and we were just sitting there talking, and you have that yearbook. I don't know what it would have been, but it was basically a booklet of senior pictures of the class of 2015 with names and pictures, and you're just
like a high school.
No, Wesleyan freshman year, the class of 2015.
I remember that booklet. They give you your first week. Yeah.
And it's a bunk bed, so you're sitting in the bed above, and we're down on the floor just sitting and chatting, and you're looking through it, and you hop out of the bed, and you're like, all right, I got to go find my best friends, and you leave. And this was after probably hanging out with you for a week now, and I just remember thinking, I was like, wow, I thought we were pretty good friends.
I thought we were. I thought we were working towards that, bro. I thought we were getting up to that point.
So yeah, that was the first time we met when we became friends, and I knew at that moment that I was gonna fight
for this
to make it on top.
Douchebag, dude. I think that seems like it's so long ago. It's so long ago, man. But sometimes it seems like it was just fucking yesterday. Because I think like when you get around friends that you're so close with, like you just result back to when I first met you. Like we're fucking 20-year-old, 20-year-olds fucking trying to just live life or whatever. But I remember me being and I don't know how you felt, and I want to kind of see, not to just talk about college shit, like we're two old men, but like whatever. I remember being so adamant when I came there on meeting new people. Like all I wanted to do was meet new people. Because I was like, I felt like from when I left high school, I was like depressed. I had this whole thing with a girl, which is apparently just a continuation that happens in my entire life, apparently every 4 years or some shit.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
but yeah, facts. But I was like, I just want new friends. Like I just want to meet new people. And I remember like going around trying to meet people and just be like, hey, my name's Dustin. How are you? Like, I just wanted to talk to people. I remember I think I did it to some like older senior person. He was definitely making fun of me. Like, who the fuck's this weird ass? But I remember just having a hard time that first week and a half. Like, I wanted to leave because I felt like I was like, I don't have anybody to talk to, because it was a whole time of I didn't really want to be with the theater people. I felt like they were just too different for me and didn't have like any friends. And then for some reason I just like wasn't talking, like committing to like, I was like, I would have all the friends in the whole world or something. I don't fucking know, but that's weird. How did you deal with your first separate, like starting in college with like getting to know people and all that kind of stuff?
I feel it was very different than the Jake that most people know now, which is I like my close people, and it's very difficult for me to go out and meet new people. But I definitely feel freshman year, kind of the same thing. Like I said, 5 people from my graduating class were from Elkhorn, so I basically had to meet people because I knew nobody. But I think because of the people that I initially became friends with, it ended up that all of my friends are in the theater department because they all just introduced me to other people. But with that being said, I was in choir, I was in the communication department, and I had all of my theater friends. So I ended up having a wide variety of friends from Wesleyan. But to start off, it was very small group of people, but I knew I had to branch out because otherwise I would have been sitting there. I did not want to be the person who just sat in my dorm room and spent every weekend hating myself.
I totally get that. I wanted to like branch out to as many things as I possibly could. So I did not want to be locked in as the theater person. I wanted to be this own thing where like
to the point where you showed up to all of the rehearsals.
I've told that story before, but yeah, I definitely left because that was the next couple of weeks was like went from sad to then I was meeting so many people, and I wanted to just hang out with those people and meet new friends and just stop going to rehearsals, and almost got kicked out of the whole theater department within like 2 weeks of my whole college career. Good job, Dustin.
We were pretty good friends at that point, and I still remember when you got that email, and they're like, "Hey, you need to actually show up. if you want to be in shows, you gotta like be here."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like it's like college as much as it is about meeting new people. I'm like, but you're also here for a reason, Dustin. And you should work on that shit. Like,
but I definitely feel that that's what freshman year is. You are trying to find who you are.
Yeah.
You kind of touched on this a little bit, but I'm pretty sure every single one of our friends in our friend group at one point freshman year goes, I just don't know if I can get through this year. Like I might just have to drop. And as shitty as that is to say, now look at all of us, we all stayed with it. But at one point, I still remember talking somebody off and being like, no, you're good. Just stick with it. Like, you don't want to give up on this time. And then we all ended up getting
by.
We made it work. Getting jiggy with it.
We were a sensitive bunch, man.
Dude, we
were too sensitive, too much dumb shit, too much Jersey Shore life.
Okay, but like, Jersey Shore, let's go. Dustin and I have two shows that we are very fond of. And
what are those two shows, Jake?
We've connected because of it. And
yeah, one
is Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
And the second one, I haven't followed that much, but I totally understand why he's a fan of it, and that is The Challenge.
The Challenge is fucking epic, bro. The Challenge, but yeah, that and the Boy Meets World thing, I think was a huge. I thought that was a huge thing that kind of because you're huge on TV shows. You love TV shows.
Absolutely, that's my thing.
But we had like such of the same kind of like why we like certain shows, and I don't man, my memory's so shitty. But I just remember at one point like we probably were having a discussion, I think, about like favorite shows, and I remember saying like I love Boy Meets World, and you're like I love Boy Meets World. I'm like wait what? And we like bonded over things like that, and it was fucking awesome. But fucking why? Can you go into the Jersey Shore bullshit dynamic of numerous things that happened in this, what we would call the fourth floor pod or whatever the fuck this was?
Are we really gonna unpack this right now?
This
is a lot.
I mean, we don't have to unpack it. We can skip it. I'm going with the flow, Jakey. I'm going with the flow.
We definitely had our characters that we were similar to.
Yes.
And if anyone knows Dustin Sutliff / has learned anything through Drinks on Dusty, Dustin is and always will be Ronnie to a T. And I know he doesn't like it because
not anymore. Ronnie's a piece of shit now. Right?
I get it.
Back then, cool shit. Now, literal loser.
But
what's wrong with you?
I don't know. Did we ever? I feel like I know who I relate to the most, but who do you think I relate to
Vinny.
the most?
I said Vinny.
I was going to say Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny. I was like, yeah, it's Vinny. Like you're like the even killed person, like try to help people out. Be like, no, I'll do that. Like someone that we'd always go to talk to and shit on stuff. But I mean, we don't have to unpack all the shit, but we just were a sensitive, emotional bunch. Yeah, but also living.
Do you remember when people played the game? Who wrote that depressed tweet?
Oh yeah. Oh god, I don't even know if I want to admit that this happened.
One of the reasons I got rid of Twitter is that right there.
At one point, Dustin and I'll say Jake, but I know I was definitely going through a little sad moment in college. It was, my first girlfriend after my whatever. It's always about a fucking girl, and I hate my life for it, but it's always about a girl. I fucking hate it.
Ronnie Magro.
Right. But it was like a breakup thing, and then like this 1 year in college, it was like sophomore year. I just was like a sad man. Like I was pretty sad. So this is when none of us knew how to use fucking social media, and half the time you use the social media.
Do we still know how to use it?
No, I still don't. Like I still don't know how to use it, but at that time we would use it for just posting the most emotional fucking things, and like, or at least me, like I'll speak for me, but I would post the dumbest shit. But there was a game that apparently these younger theater girls would play, which
you know who you are.
You know who you are. Fuck off. But this makes me so sad to admit this. I hate it. But they would play a game of whose depressing tweet this was, and they would play it with like it was about me, Jake.
It was you, me, and I think it was who was the third one? It was definitely you and I. And
it definitely was me and you. But
you know what? Everyone goes through those times.
Yeah, we did. But
we just happen to put it on social media for everybody else to see.
What fucking reason that? Well, I hate it. I hate it.
Hey, PSA right now. Leave your bullshit off social media.
Fucking just do it, man.
You'll be happier.
Nobody needs to do it.
You won't look back on your previous posts and think, why?
Yeah, dude.
Why did I say that?
Oh god, Facebook memories is the worst fucking thing ever to me half the time, because it shows me like posts that I made that are like, what the, why, like, sucks. I hate being alone. And you're like, why would you post that, bro? Like, what is wrong with you, man? Just emotionally charged teenage person. I fucking hate you. I hate you, younger Dustin. Hate you.
I saw a post today that said, me and my Facebook 2008 person would not get along today.
Oh, no shot. Like, fuck that guy immediately.
I love talking stories.
So Jake and I have a shit ton of fucking stories. So a lot of this podcast is going to be us sharing and talking about some stories about our friendship. Bear with, you're going to hear a lot of fucking stories, everybody.
Hopefully they're funny. Hopefully they're good.
Hopefully they're funny, and hopefully I remember some.
Because we thought they were funny. So
were you there for the fireman, the fire pole, or is that more Winston? The fire alarm pole, or is that Winston?
I don't think I was there. I've heard this story.
The story. Times. So yeah, that's probably more of a Winston thing.
I think that's when the two of you met.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're exactly right.
Now, granted, I could have been there and just don't remember, but I don't. I don't know.
All right, so I would like to share. I think if we could both think of what's one of our favorite stories, and we'll stick with like college right now. But like, what's one of our favorite things or stories that you have of us?
Do you have one now ready in your back pocket?
I think, unless you're gonna go with the army crawl through the plains, was that the one you were gonna go with?
All right, you do that one. You do that one.
Okay, I do that one. Okay, so one of my favorite, I don't even know how well I'm gonna get this story, Jake. But so one of my favorite things about Jake is Jake was just always down for a good fucking time. Jake was my right-hand man through college, where it'd be like, yo, dude, we're going to get fucked up and we don't need a plan, but we're going to get fucked up and we'll figure it out from there. And that's how I continue to live. I'm like, I'll go out and drink. I'll figure shit out from there.
That's literally how we lived our lives. It was never, someone would be like, hey, do you know what's happening tonight? And I would respond, I know Dustin and I are going to start drinking and eventually we'll end up somewhere. And usually those were the best times.
They really were. Because and I stick with it, though. That's why I have such almost FOMO about making plans. I hate making plans because, and I think it stems, Jakey, from the fact of me and you sitting in a fucking tiny ass dorm room on the bottom bunk, opening our mini fridge, which we stocked with alcohol on our no money we got a month, whatever the fuck, and would just be drinking, invite some people over, and then figure out shit from there. Like, hey, where's everybody at? Where's this party? Where's this party? We'd be weighing options, be like, let's go to this one. Let's check this one out. And we would just get drunk, have a good time with each other, and then go out to where the fuck we thought we wanted to go to. And like, that's not even a story, but that's just how we did like every Friday night.
Yeah.
So I worked an off-campus job. So on Fridays, especially during a certain part of the semester, I wasn't in like show and rehearsals in the afternoons because I wasn't as talented enough, right? So
you were a hack.
I was a hack. So I would text Jake and be like, I'll meet you in the room in 5 minutes, have 4 shots ready for us immediately. Jake would go into my room, lay out 4 shots for us I'd walk in, start drinking. We'd just be getting fucked up immediately. Fucking just right-hand man, ready to go. Let's fucking do this shit. So one of my favorite stories, we would do these pre-games. So me and Jake are big on pre-gaming. We're like, before we go anywhere, we're going to drink. So we went to a theater party, and this was at the time I had, you're going to have to correct me on some of the story, but I had a girlfriend at the time, but we're leaving the theater department and we're walking across campus back to our dorm. And for some reason, we thought there was like a PA or some like staff or some shit or cops or whatever the fuck, some authoritative figure.
I'm almost positive we saw the Securitas walking around.
Yeah. So we see this, and me and Jake are drunk out of our minds, and we go, get down. Our shirt, like my shirt's open, like I'm not clothed barely at all, like my shirt's all unbuttoned, and we drop down to the floor and we start army crawling because we're like, we're gonna hide from them, and we're trying to army crawl so that they don't see us. And there's this picture that I can't wait, you've probably seen this when I post this episode, but there's a picture of me and Jake on the floor. My girlfriend at the time, Abby's up like posing, and we're army crawling. Always yeah, always the fucking and we're army crawling because we're like, we don't want to get caught. We don't want to get caught. And we're just army crawling all the way to the back door of the Centennial building so that the PA can't see us sneak back in or whatever the fuck. But we would have numerous nights like that where we would get just fucking start out drinking by ourselves, go fucking find a party, and then go have a good fucking time. That's one of my favorite stories because it's like one of the most iconic pictures that we have. But I don't even know if I remember that much from the story.
Honestly, I think you remember that story better than I did. Because I knew this was going to be talked about because we talk about it constantly. And my memory of that time is that picture. That's the only memory I have.
It jogged a little bit, but I don't.
So when you were like, yeah, I think there was an authority figure, I go, there was,
because there was some reason. There was a reason why we were on the ground. There's a reason why we jumped to the ground and started army crawling, fucking 20 feet or whatever, hiding from.
Which, to be fair, the amount of times we walked back from that party house and there was somebody walking around that we had to avoid was probably every single time. I also walked back from that house I don't know how many times. In one night, I probably did it 3 times. Yeah, you got to walk back your friends and then go back because you're not done. But then someone else is done, so then you walk them back and then you go back again.
You keep doing entrances into the party because maybe it got cooler that time you were
we were coined the party brigade. That was a great name.
We were, because it would be like in some of these theater parties, our crew would like, because we would just be late because we knew we were the cool ones. We knew we were the fun ones. And yeah, I remember all the party brigades here because like people would come pregame with us in our tiny ass fucking dorm room before we would go to the fucking party. It's like, we'll get to the party because we knew, not to sound cocky, but when the party came, the party started when we walked in. Okay,
that's how it was. Kesha.
Listen,
thank you. Is it not? I don't know.
I don't know. Is it Kesha? I don't fucking know. Maybe it is. Who fucking knows?
The story
what is your favorite? What's one of your favorite stories? I know we have a lot.
Two stories that I love. One isn't much of a story. It's just so. The thing about being best friends is you see people at their worst. You get angry with each other.
Oh my fucking God.
It happens. You get into fights. It's fine.
I'm gonna be. Is this the one on the stairs?
No. Ooh, what's the one on the stairs?
Does this story have to do with me yelling?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so but just continue. I think it's the same story. I'm just thinking I'm remembering that it was on the stairs when I did it.
This happened outside, but it actually was not directed at me. But I was there, and Dustin ran outside like he did all the time because he got angry.
Goodbyes. Yep.
And myself and this other individual followed him out there because we're like, hey, we gotta hash this out. Best time to solve an argument is when you're drunk. Let me tell you what. There's never an issue with that. Knowledge that I have learned over my years.
Always solve it while you're the most intoxicated.
Yeah, solve it while you're intoxicated. We walk outside and Dustin is storming off, and we go, hey, Dustin, stop. We need to talk about this. And he turns around and he screams while jumping 5 feet in the air, you don't know what I'm capable of. And it's one of my all-time favorite stories about Dustin.
Do you know why I said that? I don't even know why. I have no reason.
I don't know. I don't know.
God. But I remember that you say that all the time, where I was just so mad about something because I'm a young, and I drank way before a lot of people that drank in college. So like I was just, but in that state, I was mad about something, and that alcohol got to me. But oh my God, you tell me that, and I remember just yelling that.
Oh, you were pissed.
No, who I am.
But hey, we're still friends to this day. Like, you live and you learn.
What am I trying to get out of that, Jake? Was I trying to be like, yeah, I will murder you? Like,
I think, quite honestly, Dustin, I think you wanted to beat us up, but you knew deep down that you just couldn't.
Oh, there's no shot. I could never
look at this face. You can't beat this face.
I love that. That's such an embarrassing story for me, but I love that that's one of yours. What's the other story you want to
the other one, which you knew was coming, was
Yeah.
our favorite Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossibles.
Which we coined because of this one specific story that we were like, we got to call it Mission Impossible.
All right. So Jake and I had this whole thing that we had to do, and we coined the term, and this was pretty much a weekly basis, wasn't this? This was every week.
We filled out, this will make sense later, but we filled up our trash bags very quickly.
Very fast.
Very fast.
But Jake, if you want to give a little, what was the goal of Mission Impossible?
So Mission Impossible being of age drinking, you have a giant trash bag full of beer bottles, beer cans, liquor bottles, you name it, it's in there. If you thought we were throwing away anything else, you're wrong.
You're right. Nothing else.
And Mission Impossible was the process of disposing of that clear bag without anybody who could get us in trouble noticing. Hence, Mission Impossible.
Not that we are admitting that we drank underage, but the goal of when you are an 18, 19-year-old student in college, you were not allowed or permitted to have alcohol in your dorms or drink or partake in that substance.
Yeah.
So if for some reason
highly frowned upon,
and if for some reason a young couple stallions decided to break those rules, you'd have to probably get them out of there without being seen. Continue, Jake.
And so we had done this several times, but this one specific moment, and I emphasize, we have done this several times at this point.
Fucking who's gonna? All right, I'll carry. You go look out.
Yeah, we had a whole thing. One person.
We had a whole. Yeah,
ahead.
it was a whole down to a fucking science. Like we went out the back door.
You had to get past the PA, which for all of you non-Wesleyan people are just RAs. I don't know why we call them PAs, but
yeah, and the annoying thing is my room was right by the PA's room.
Yes,
it was right in the PA's room was in that nook that was right by mine, and my room was pretty much the party room.
Yes,
for our pregame room or whatever.
Absolutely. And so one person would go ahead and make sure the coast was clear. The other person would come out like Santa Claus with a giant trash bag, and we would head down. There's 3 sets of stairs. We would go down the center one. Yeah. Honestly, why we didn't go down the side ones, I'm starting to realize.
I think we finally did, like later on. We're like, why the fuck didn't we just go out the back door?
Yeah, I'm starting to realize. Oh, because the 2 on the side didn't have a door that went out the back. They only went out the front. I think
you're right.
Maybe.
I think you are right. I think because you get to us when you could go right, because then we go right at the back and the trash can is right there.
Now, here's the problem with that, which we found out many times later. Because it's the back door to the dorm building, there is a camera directly on the door. So this specific time, we're like, all right, we got this. We're gonna check. No, coast is clear. We're gonna leave. We walk out. There's a light that shines right on the door because you got to see the door. And for some reason, we look up and realize there's a camera directly facing the door that we have been leaving several times to do this Mission Impossible.
Huge bags.
So
huge bags.
The process of this is a little hazy, but instead of just continuing, we go back inside.
With the bag, right?
With the bag. We go back inside. We put hoods on. We put sweatshirts and hoods on
because there's no way that the camera, because
they can't
I think
tell. They can't
our
tell.
thought process is they don't know what's in that trash bag. To the layman's eye on the camera crew,
it's
just trash. It's just trash.
We're just taking out the trash, and as everyone does, you take the trash out, look at a camera, and then walk back inside with your trash. Who doesn't do that?
Nobody.
So yeah, long story short, we put these sweatshirts on. We thought the hoods were going to help us, and we walk out and we throw this trash in the dumpster. And that was the first time we felt the true adrenaline of taking these trash bags outside. So then we started calling it Mission Impossible.
So we would live for that. Never got caught. But like, y'all, when I'm telling you, like, these were bags from that you would keep in your dorm room, at least that we did, and they would be filled with alcohol bottles. Like, I'm not talking tiny, like I'm saying we bought 230 racks of beer and then plus all the bottles of liquor that we had from the weekend or whatever. And we would empty them, like keep all the trash in our room until we found the time to take it out and then hide it and then throw it away so we didn't get caught that we were drinking and shit.
We were and always will be drinking buddies.
Always. Can you describe like our relationship if you see it now? How would you describe like our friendship? Like we're still very close, and I do want to kind of get into, I think the pandemic kind of realigned us a little bit more. I want to get into that, but if you could describe kind of our friendship journey, Jake, what are some words you use to describe our friendship journey?
Roller coaster.
Okay.
I don't know how to pick specific words, but being as we have been friends for 10 years, that's only technically a third of our life. I feel like I have gone through more with you than I have with a lot of people.
Yeah. I think that's specific to, I mean, I'll speak for me, but like, I think that's specific for me and you, Jakey, is you have seen me in some of my absolute best moments. I go right to you, but you've seen me in some of my lowest moments that not even many, like there's a one story that I don't even know if we'll get into, but like, there's some things that like,
I think
you
and
maybe
the exact story.
Yeah, you are. But, and I don't give a fuck. I'll share the story. I don't care. But you see me in some moments that nobody else have, because you were always just that go-to person for me that I didn't have. Like I had like close friends in high school, but you were this person that like, it was everything I could give to you and like open up with you. And you've seen me in so different highs and lows and shit.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like there are, I could count on my one hand how many people actually know almost everything about me and everything that I have done, and you're one of them. Like it's I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because you and I would say probably you were my first legitimate friend that I made in college. Yeah, I had others, but do you remember we would sit there and we would just talk?
Yeah, it wasn't like it didn't ever seem, it was like we could sit there and just bullshit and like just hang out. And it was like we weren't forcing to hang out, you know, it was like expected for us to sit there and we just be chilling, like, yeah, I'm hanging out with Jake. And we're comfortable in like silence, I think also, which is like, you know, how some friends like they can't sit in silence. I think some of my closest friends, like we can sit and we don't have to, like if we're doing something, like we would do homework with each other. I don't do homework. First of all, I never did homework half the time in college, to be honest with you. But like we could sit and just be like just hang out. And I never really had that. That was probably one of my first like friends that I could just, we're doing shit but we're not trying to do some fun fucking crazy thing, but we could just hang out, play fucking video games. Like I didn't have that as much growing up and stuff, I don't think.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And you said stay up and do homework together, and I immediately thought of when you all had that script analysis project that I think you all pulled an all-nighter for. And I literally just pulled an all-nighter because I was like, hey, I want to be a part of this. Out there,
it's a chick just
like, I want to say I pulled an all-nighter. Did I do anything? Nope.
No, but like that's how it like was like, but Jake's gonna come though too. Like Jake doesn't have to do his project. Like he'll be up with us. Like it's fine.
We were literally in the Centennial computer lab, everyone on their computer, and I was probably on Facebook. I don't know what I was doing,
but yeah, man, I think I don't want to be too rude to all my high school friends, I guess, but like I don't really talk to any of them anyway. But yeah, man, they're
watching this right now.
Yeah, we've just seen each other and we've been through so much, and it almost feels like you've been my friend since I was in fucking kindergarten. Like we've been through this whole thing. Is that what you meant by more of the roller coaster, or did you have another idea of a roller coaster? when you're
roller
saying
coaster, I think. Well, when I say we've been through everything, like we have been high on our friendship, we have been low on our friendship.
Yeah. And
I've seen both spectrums.
We have seen both spectrums because we went through a weird time, which I will take complete fault for, and I won't blame it on too many people. Dumb Biddy. But there was a moment where like my head got turned in one way, and then I was listening to something else, and it kind of ruined our friendship. And we went through a time where we're like, we didn't talk for I don't even know. A little bit.
It was a while. Yeah.
It was a weird thing. We can be open about this. How'd you feel?
Are we hashing this out right now?
Are we hashing this out? Because I don't think we have
discussed this.
I don't think we have. I think it was just at one point we both, because you were in Chicago.
Yes.
And then it was like, we're gonna like see or whatever. Like, I don't know who reached out to who, but then
yes, that is crazy that you said that, because I didn't even think of that, but I think you're right. I think the reason we started connecting again was literally because I was making a trip to Chicago. And so this was after graduation.
Yeah.
And I think we were finally like, I mean, if I'm going to go to Chicago, I want Dustin to be one of the people I see. Yeah. He was one of my closest friends in college. Why would I go to the city that he is living in and not see him?
Yeah. I don't even know how much to get into this, but I think there was at some point our senior year where I was kind of being pulled in some direction, and my head was telling it. A lot of things were being told to me that made me start to think a certain way, that then started to treat you a certain way and not like the close friend that we had been for 3.5 years. And I know that I don't know where your perspective is on that. Like, I know I was going through, y'all were living in your home place. I decided to live with Miles. And then I love that this is how my podcast is. People are like, is he just talking about college bullshit? I'm like, yeah, because this is what it is. It's about connecting with people.
Drinks on Dusty. Let's start this show.
But like we went through, but I think it's important is that we went through this whole thing where like we were like inseparable for years. And then something happens our senior year. Like I start to focus more on this career shit that I need to fucking actually do. And then I'm thinking I'm with somebody I'm going to marry, fucking all this kinds of shit. And I don't know. I couldn't even tell you, Jake, what exactly happened. But then we differed on different paths or shit happened.
Yeah.
Do you have comments on that? If you don't, that's fine. But do you have?
I think you are, in my opinion, which granted, I cannot speak for you, but you kind of said this. I think, yes, you were being told things that kind of put a rift in our friendship. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
I think it's as base as that, but I think what's really cool is that one thing that you reached out, because I'm a stubborn motherfucker, as you know. And I mean, I don't know if you're stubborn. I actually don't know if you are stubborn. Are you stubborn?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I am.
I wouldn't describe you as stubbern. I'm very fucking stubborn.
I did start this whole thing by saying I am stubborn.
I did. Well, no, you just don't like the change. I mean,
yes, that's fair. That's fair. But sure, yes.
You reaching stubborn. Out to me when I was going through whatever the fuck I was going through. I was going through the worst times in Chicago. I've talked about this on the podcast numerous times. But when you finally, like, I wasn't talking to anybody from college or anything at that point. Like, I distance myself from so many of my close friends. But then you reached out to me, and that's how we saw each other. And then kind of started to, like, we would joke back and forth. I don't know if our group text started again, but like shit like that. And it was like a slow thing. And then it was like, oh, I don't even know if we ever had like a full talk, because we both have like feelings, and we were always pretty open with each other on like, you know, like we're going to tell, like, if you're mad at me, like we're going to talk about why you're mad. So we're friends because we care about each other so much. And like almost treating it like we're fucking dating, because like you're a close person. Like I'm not just going to flat out leave and just be like, fuck off.
Right. Dude. Right.
But it made our graduation a little weird for a while, that's probably one of my biggest regrets, is that we didn't end
Yeah.
That's gonna make me emotional, Jake, because we didn't
Hey,
end.
all you listeners out here, this is the first time Dustin and I have talked about this.
That's fucking true. But
and
yeah,
we have talked a lot since has happened.
We have, but we never talked about that situation.
I agree.
But that's probably why
and
it's easier.
If we get into this, and if we have to cut all this out, we can.
No, we'll see.
I will agree. Graduation was the hardest thing, and you made that video.
Oh fuck, man!
And I legitimately did not know if I was even going to be in the video.
Oh, I remember doing that.
You did.
Like,
you did put me
like,
in.
there's no way I'm never not putting Jake in. I don't remember how many pictures of us I put in. I think I put. I can't remember. I've tried to find that fucking video. No shot. No shot. Don't know where it is.
I legitimately, because you had like a sit down and you're like, hey guys, I want you all to be here to watch this. And I almost didn't go because I don't even know if I'm going to be a part of this. And I don't want that to be awkward.
Oh God.
Like sitting there thinking, all right, so there's so many pictures out there and not a single one of them got in this video.
No, I knew I had many of you.
And the thing is, and I think you thought this, and I realized afterwards, it was kind of one of those moments where it was like, just because we're going through something now, you do not want the everlasting impression of this graduation, this moment to be, oh yeah, Jake and Dustin were not friends at this time.
Yeah, it's like this is happening because of some bullshit right now, in all honesty, but the focus was supposed to be like, we went through this whole thing, and like, even though I'm stubborn asshole and me and him are not talking at the moment, or the fuck, we sound like a bunch of high school fucking dipshits. But I just remember that being one of like wanting to still say like, that was almost, I don't even know if it's my way of apologizing, to be like, Jake, whatever's happening right now, that's what we're still here, in a certain way. But I think what's cool is that all this fucking things where we literally could just have never talked ever again after that time, right? But we cared about each other so much, which is, I think, what's important about it, why I want you on, is to be like, we're still there. Like, there's numerous people I've never talked to, then like we never were the same again. And like we just weren't friends. Like, again, that person's not in my life anymore, but it's like, you are. And even with that, then we get through, we haven't lived together lived in the same city for fucking 5.5, 6.5 years, because I was in Chicago before.
Yeah, I would say since graduate. Well, you lived in Lincoln for a year and then you moved out to Chicago.
Oh, not a year, but like less than a year, but yeah, something like that.
But yeah, but every single time you come back to Nebraska, we at least see each other one time.
Yeah, it's like one of them, like, I gotta go see Jake. How do you think we've kind of continued to have such a close-knit bond, but yet we don't see each other? We probably see each other maybe once a year now, on an average basis. Lucky enough if we get to see maybe 2 or 3 times or some shit. But like,
and one of these times,
like this year was fucking awesome
in New York.
Yes, but like this year was an outlier where we got to see each other like fucking 2 or 3 times.
Yes, well, we can talk about that, but
yeah,
one of the best things that happened to just our friend group in general was Winston and Bo's wedding.
Can you first of all, not to cut you off, Jakey, talk about our friend group? What is our friend group?
What do you mean, what is our friend group?
Who
are they?
What is our essence? No, just like, who is it? And
our friend group is,
I could answer that question.
You go.
So our friend group is basically like, is what I say my closest friend. I would say, other than Miles, he's not in this because he wasn't in our graduating class, but it's our graduating class. But it's a lot of it, I think, kind of stemmed from, we would do a Christmas picture every year.
Yes.
So
because of Winston Nowak.
Winston Nowak, who will be on hopefully soon. But every year we would do wanted to get a picture with Santa. So every year this core group of people would always go get a picture with Santa. Now, that picture had a couple girlfriends in it, a couple other people that maybe not be in the group anymore.
I think we could equally say we pride ourselves in the fact that we were in. Well, actually, Dustin, you were not in one.
There was one because I was pissed off because I didn't know what the time was, and then I was an asshole and just go, I'm not gonna go.
And then the time you wore a t-shirt and a backwards hat. But unlike Dustin, I can pride myself. I was in all 4 of those pictures.
Yeah, Jake, you were. I did have to get cropped into one of them at some point,
which is a great picture,
which is the gold one. But it is our basically this group consists of a few friends that we all graduated with. Mostly all of us were in the theater department, and Jake, who was also who's it.
But I mean, Winston was my roommate, so I never thought that my friends were theater people. It just so happened that all of my friends were in theater.
Got it. I love that. But this is our group of people were Adam, Scott, Winston, and yourself and me are kind of like was our group that we'd have like a group text. We'd always check in on each other, blah, 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 blah. Continue.
One of the good things that came out of 2020 was the reconnection of the 5 of us.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Yes, we would definitely keep in touch, but we would talk to each other seldomly.
It'd be like if somebody had something to say about whatever, it would get brought up in the group, and then it would we would riff back and forth, and then it would die.
It would go silent for a while
until someone else decides to go did anybody see that picture of his with no hands? And then we would talk for like a day or whatever the fuck. I don't fucking care. I didn't say that.
You did not.
I didn't say
but we, and now you did. Which funny, we're on Zoom now. Zoom blew up because of the pandemic, and we started video chatting, the 5 of us, during that time.
Yeah.
And
within a week or two, honestly, because it was I didn't have a job or whatever. And
all of us were just sitting at home doing pretty much nothing. And I still remember we were all like, all right, guys, people are doing these Zoom meetings where they catch up with people that they haven't talked to in a while. We should do this.
Yeah.
And Scott goes, all right, so should we all bring talking points to this?
Oh my fucking god! I remember
we all just laughed and we go, Scott, if you think we can't sit there and just talk to each other,
talking points. I remember that.
And it really was. The first one was, I think, 6 hours long, and I thought that
I
was
don't even think it was 6, Jake. I think it was longer than 6.
Well, no, because the second one I'm pretty sure was. Oh, the second one was 10 hours.
Oh my god!
Because the first one I go, there's no way we could ever talk longer than that.
And then
the second one we did, and it was kind of, at some points people just left. All right, I got to go do this. I'll come back, and then the rest of us
would just still be on.
And we left the camera on. We would go make dinner, do something, and then we would just come back and be like, all right, so catch me up. What have we been talking about? And also, some of the drunkest I've seen you guys.
Oh god.
And
because we had nothing to do, literally nothing to do the next day other than but we made these things weekly visits. Yes, it was I think we usually said Friday, whatever the fuck we said.
I think it was Friday or Saturday, because then I did one with my family on Sunday. So I know it was I think it was Saturday, because I think I did the one on Saturday for hours on end, and then I would do the one with my family the next day.
Yeah. We would all get on these Zoom calls, just us 5, me, Scott, Jake, Winston, and Adam, and drink and talk for hours about bullshit, fuck around with each other, play games. Eventually we started to play games.
I think we played games. I don't even remember what, but
no, we played numerous things. But we would just I remember telling people about oh, I got a Zoom, oh, when's that Zoom gonna be over? I'm like, dude, we might be talking all fucking night long. What do you mean? I'm like, how do you guys talk for 6 hours? I'm like, we just say a bunch of bullshit. But that's how close all of us are, that we can just talk about fucking nothing or talk about something and have still a good fucking time. And we would talk for hours. And like you're saying, it kind of brought back, because I remember us all kind of having this one conversation at some point about this just made like this whole COVID shit when I was locked in New York or whatever, reminding me who the fuck is the most important in my life. And I'm like, I hadn't talked on a regular basis to them in a long time. And these are the people that know me. These are the people that mean the most to me. And these are the people that if shit's happening, this is who I want to be around. And why the fuck am I not on a regular basis talking to them? Like, you know, we all get busy. But for me, it reinvigorated that to be like, I can be miles away, but it doesn't take me like fucking checking on my best friends, right? But like, it was the coolest thing because it did start like we would talk all the time. It was a weekly thing. And then one of our closest friend Winston gets married, and we all get to like our first person out of the group gets married, and
we were all part of the wedding. So it was like we were planning bachelor party, we were planning stuff for the wedding. Like we communicated so much because of those two, and we got to see each other more. Like I believe Winston's bachelor party was the first time the five of us were all together in the same place since graduation.
Since graduation, yeah. I think you're so right. It was just fucking crazy, man. Like, I know I think that's just something I hate about getting older, because I remember I'm like, these are my fucking people that like it's easy for me to talk to them. They know everything about me. They know who I am. And I can joke with them. They know me. Like, I don't have to explain my humor to them. I don't have to explain who I am to them. Like, we just fucking riff and it's natural. And those moments like this, those couple years, like COVID being fucking annoying, but that was the best part, hands down, that happened. Because we just like, because I remember you talked about it, because you would text me one thing like, we should just text more. Like, we just need to talk more.
I was going to bring that up too, because at one point, and this was recently, we both were just kind of like, we need to do a better job of just checking in with each other.
Yeah.
We, even if it's not to have a whole full-on conversation, just be like, hey, what's new? Because after being stuck at home for so long and having all of that time to catch up with people, now lives are starting, we're busy, we're doing stuff. And so it definitely has become like, I don't talk to Dustin that often, but also I know I cannot talk to Dustin for a long time. And as soon as we start talking again, it's like we haven't even skipped a beat. Everyone has friends like that.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have friends like us.
Nobody is like us.
Nobody. But it's such a beautiful thing. Cause like, I'm like, everything you just said, man, it's beautiful that we're able to do that. But then it always reminds me, I'm like, I don't ever want to lose that. I don't ever want to go a year where like, I didn't even talk to Jake. Yeah. That's weird to me. Like, I can't texting bullshit. Like, look at this fucking picture of this giraffe I found. Like, I like dumb shit.
What's in this water bottle? Probably Crown Apple.
One of my favorite things is Jake literally knows me more than honest to God, Jake could say, you know more about me. And I wish I would have had like a fucking quiz. I could probably pull one up and make one up now.
Wait, don't you have that quiz from
kind of oh, that at one point during quarantine, I created a PowerPoint of questions about me.
I think didn't you have all of us make a PowerPoint with questions about ourselves?
I go, everybody needs to make a PowerPoint about questions. So we're gonna spend our quarantine time like we're gonna see who knows each other the best.
And I remember getting pissed because I was like, no, I know this answer is wrong. You think it's this? I know it's this.
I know that's not what the answer is. I know what the answer is. But you know me more than fucking like anybody. Like there's not, honest to God, not a person on this planet, Jake, that I could pull and be like, if I had to, if my life was on the line, it was like 5 questions about Dustin, who's going to get the most right, I'd fucking pick you.
Can you call Jake Morman up?
I would literally be like, call Jake Morman immediately, because he's going to know what I'm about to do. Like there was someone, I don't even remember. I randomly texted you one night something where I had said, this person thinks I'm going to be on time to this event. Jake, tell me right now what I'm doing. If the event starts at 9:00, what time do you think I'm going to get there? And what am I doing before? Jake, what would I be doing?
I remember when you texted me that, and I just laughed. I was like, "You're gonna be pre-gaming first of all, and then you'll show up when you show up."
I'll show up like an hour and a half after the party starts. That's who I am. But you know me more than anybody. Like you would get what I'm about to do. You'd understand why I'm saying something. Like it's fucking crazy. Like we were saying, like we had one of our best friends, Winston, get married. Winston got married to his husband, Bo. One
The
of
No-Walks. The No-Walks.
The No-Walks. Shout out to the No-Walks. I don't
Nucks
remember.
for No-Walks.
Nucks for No-Walks. We had such a good fucking time.
Yes.
Like just so much bullshit with that. I remember talking on one of my solo episodes about how much that wedding meant to me. And kind of how like not as in like seeing somebody be able to do that and how emotional that was. I know you were emotional with that wedding.
Yeah,
but
I was not good.
It was fucking rough, man.
Well,
it was crazy.
And funny story about that. If you're okay with me sidetracking here.
No.
Oh shit. Okay.
Go for it, Jakey.
So we all hung out the night before his wedding for the reception, and we went to that. I don't even remember what bar it was, but it was walking distance from Tanner's where we had the reception.
Yeah, that little night where we were playing pool and shit there.
And we got fairly drunk, and we all went back to the hotel.
We always do.
And typical Jake, he got cold and he got tired and he fell asleep before everybody else. And I fell asleep in Dustin's bed.
Oh my fucking God.
So Dustin had to sleep on the couch, and everyone else went to their rooms. I had my own room, but I fell asleep before everyone else because I'm old. I get it. It's fine.
It was me, you, Scott, Adam, and Stacy. We're all in that because I was feeling extra and I bought like a bigger. No, I ended up getting the handicap room. I figured out, which is why my room was so big, because it had the handicap accessible thing on the front. And that was why I had a huge ass room. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. But we all went back to hang out. But yeah, Jake was passed out. Scott was.
But I think I had a thing of peanuts.
Oh, yeah. You had peanuts in the bed. Oh my God. And like Adam at some point left. Stacy leaves. Scott was gone. And he finally somehow leaves, and I just like, he kept trying to get me to move you. I was like, I'm not moving Jake from the bed. Like he can sleep in the bed.
I think he
like,
yelled at you because I'm the best man and I have to be taken care of.
Yeah,
I have to be there tomorrow.
I was like, I know he does. That's why I'm not going to move him from the bed. He's going to sleep in the bed. So I sleep on the couch. But I remember at some point, I don't remember. At one point, you woke up and was like yelling at me, or like you said, get in the bed. I'm like, Jake, I let you sleep there. Why are you yelling at me now?
I literally slapped you awake and I said, get in your bed. And I stormed out of the room and went to my room. And this is where the story gets good. My room was locked because I was living with Scott, who did not, I think he even deadbolted the door. So I couldn't get into my room. I think I called you, but you were already asleep. So I finally called Adam. Adam got up. He goes, well, why don't you check? Because I just thought my key card wasn't working. So he goes, go downstairs, see if you can get a different key card and come back up. Still wasn't working. So I call Adam again and I go, hey, I cannot get a hold of Scott. I cannot get in this room. Can I just sleep on your couch? So he lets me stay. And at that time,
antisocial
freaking Winston Nowak posts the most gut-wrenching Facebook post about his whole journey of getting to where he is today, and it broke me. I could not handle it. And later on, Adam and I were talking and he goes, yeah, Jake, you just kept me up. As soon as I tried to go back to bed and you kept making noises, I was like, yeah, Adam, I'm sorry. I was literally bawling my eyes out because I read that story and I was like, this is wild. God damn. And it was just wild for me because I know as you do, the huge journey that Winston has been in. And I know that we are his closest guy friends that have accepted him for who he is. And it was just amazing that we got to this point.
Yeah, without too much information, that do not throw Winston out and he can talk about it. But like,
yeah, he can talk about his
he can
life.
get into it. But like, again, he's a gay man that was not accepted for being gay, and told that this would never happen for him, and how much he wanted to have a fucking wedding, and it was a dream come true for him. And it was just the coolest thing to see it was my first, like, I've had good friend like Aaron was the first one that I was like a good friend, like, get to do that and be up there with them. But Winston's a whole nother animal, and it was the whole weekend was just like, I was nervous, and I'm just like, God fucking damn, man, I don't, this is crazy. But you had,
I think I was more nervous than Winston and Bo were for the wedding. I was just like, I got this speech. I don't know if it's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna go over well. Oh, it was a lot.
Now I'm gonna put a little a little riff in between us. I was told that I was gonna be the best man. Now, Winston might have just been blowing up smoke like he fucking usually does, but I had a speech prepared. I wrote it one day, waiting for my airline. I was like, in my head, I was like, it's gonna be Jake. It's gonna be Jake.
And in my head, I was like, it's gonna be Rachel.
And it was.
And it was.
Yeah, too. Selfish pricks. But you got to do one of my long life dreams of just having a best man speech. But even going through that weekend, I was like, oh, I'm not jealous about this at all. He has to go there and talk for all these motherfuckers. Like, yeah.
It was.
It
was rough.
How did you feel about doing this best man speech, Jake?
I was excited because, and I've said this a million times, I think it was 2012. Oh, thanks for showing me that. I think it was 2012, and there was a whole Facebook. I think it was. I hate you. I think
Jake accused me earlier of saying that he thinks I have not had a drink, which is hysterical to me because he knows who I am. And if you've seen this, I'm
gonna run this back, and I'm gonna watch for the amount of times that goes to your mouth.
I'm telling you, it's too much as it is.
It was 2012, or it was sophomore year, so it was 2012 or 2013. I don't know.
Get to the point, Mormon.
Jeez. It was when same-sex marriage was made legal, and everyone was putting a red equal sign as their Facebook profile picture or something like that. Yeah, and my Facebook status literally read, I believe in equality because I want to be the best man at my best friend's wedding.
I remember that.
And that was one of the biggest things, because then it happened.
So cool,
but
man.
I feel like this is a lot of stuff that you and Winston need to talk about.
Yeah, fuck that guy. But yeah, man, but like, I remember it was just seeing, like, one of my, like, I loved how I feel like I told somebody, like, I have a good feeling he's going to start with, how about that ride in? And
would it be me if it
yeah,
didn't?
It was like, there's no shot he doesn't start.
Honestly, we need to restart this whole thing, and I'll just go, so how about that
right? Yeah, man. But like, it was so cool to see, like, you talk about one of our closest friends. And like, what was cool about your speech is you were like talking about me, and like, you brought us into it. I was like, it's just because like we're so close. Like, it's it's an us thing. It's
hard to think of one friendship of ours without thinking of everybody else.
That's so crazy. That's so good, because it's so perfect, because I can't think of like my friendship with Winston without thinking about Jake and Scott and Adam. I can't think about our journey without thinking about everybody else with it. It's this so unique, cool bond that keeps us so strong together. It's fucking awesome. And I don't know how you held it together as good as you did, because I would have probably bawled during if I was speaking, but like,
I think
let's talk about Winston's speech.
The one at the end of the night.
Yeah, when he went up in a dress because that stupid ass DJ. fucking moron. I'm sorry, everybody. I know this is a lot of inside shit, but like, I really don't give a fuck. But yeah, like Winston gives this speech about how this was his dream and how he finally got to do this, and he starts to cry, and like everybody is just bawling, like lost it. Because I remember saying, like, I'm not sure when I'm gonna cry. There's a good chance I cry when like Bo walks down the aisle. There's a good chance they say I cry, and I was doing pretty good. And then I was just kind of waiting. I was like, I could probably cry at Jake's speech, and then Winston talks. I'm like, and here it comes. This is it. This is over.
I think my speech was too much of a meme to cry during. So
it was just kind of a memory thing. But it was so good, man. But it was that brought us into this whole thing now where like we talk way more on a regular basis. Our friendship, it just proves how strong our friendship is. And I know we talked a lot about it, so we can get away from it a little bit now, but you are a big TV show buff.
Oh, huge.
You are. Why is that? I know that's a like a new fucking thing to ask, but like you're one of those people that lives for TV shows. You like, and you love that TV show. You love that TV show.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm one of the people that if I start something, I could probably count on one hand the amount of shows that I have not finished completely. And those shows are the ones that I just hate that much that I will stop, because I have a complex of completing things. So if I start something, I have to finish it. And that's the case with shows. I will start them, and even if I am hating them, and I've said this a million times, people who talk to me know this, one of my favorite things in the world is when a show ends, because I finally don't have to follow it anymore.
Okay, so
because even if it gets bad, I still go. I am there. I am in it, and I will watch the whole thing.
I get that.
That's also why I feel like I have a good judge on what I feel. I have good recommendations for shows because I will watch the shitty ones. I will watch the good ones. I will watch them all.
And you're committed to it. You're going to watch the whole fucking thing.
I'll watch the whole thing. I have always said, because a lot of people, I can't get past the first episode. Watch the whole first season. If you still hate it after the first season, then give up. But first seasons are always terrible. They suck. Look at The Office. That first season, not good.
No, it's not good. I mean,
it's good.
It's nowhere near like why I love The Office. Like, okay, like yeah, season 3, season 4, that's fucking gold shit. But yeah, season 1 was definitely not full on there. It definitely had its moments though. But I get what you're saying. But so because I'm one of those people, I'll stick with the show, like Grey's Anatomy, for example. Got into it, don't even think the show is good anymore, but I'm like, I'm gonna watch it till I gotta figure out how the fucking until Meredith dies. Like I gotta be here until fuck whatever. But so even I think it's interesting that you saying that you're gonna ride with a show until even if you don't like it. So if you see a first episode and you don't like it, you're still gonna watch the next one.
Specifically with first episodes, I give it a chance. I will give it at least 4 or 5 episodes.
You know you're not married to these things, right?
Yeah, but hear me out.
Okay.
It takes a while until you can actually get into the good stuff. Look at our favorite show, Boy Meets World. Yes, the first season is great. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not Boy Meets World.
Yeah, it's not why we love Boy Meets World.
But if I didn't give that second season a chance, I would have never experienced what is actually Boy Meets World.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
I'll give at least 4 episodes because I know it takes a while to get into the process, to get your character belt. So
yeah, I think that's a good point because I think there's many shows like for Breaking Bad, for example. I watched a couple episodes. I just was like, too much for me to think about. Stopped watching it. I know you love Breaking Bad. And then it's like, all right, sit through and actually watch the show. I'm like, oh dear God, this is an incredible TV show. But yeah, I think that just goes to no one has any patience anymore, which I don't fucking either. But
that's fair.
Okay, so let me put you on the hot seat real quick, Jakey.
Oh, good, great, love it.
So, top 5 TV shows. What are they?
I should have known you were.
I don't know how you didn't know this was going to come.
Here's the thing. I feel
Even if you don't rank them, if you had,
I feel people's opinions on TV shows is dependent on what they are watching at that time.
True, but I think I've said my top.
I will
five
say
have
The
been
Office
same
is
for a while.
definitely up there.
Yeah, Office.
Boy Meets World, definitely top 5. And again, this is a show I just started watching, but Ted Lasso, I started watching and I legitimately said this might be one of my favorite shows.
Never seen Ted Lasso yet.
It's so
Haven't
good.
committed to it.
But it's my humor.
Your humor?
It's literally Jason Sudeikis being me.
Way
better, way better version of me, but it's who I strive
Jake
to
Morman
be.
2.0, but like...
yeah, Jake at 5.0 at least.
Okay.
But obviously The Office, hands down, because it's probably one of the only shows I've watched multiple times through.
Are you a big rewatcher?
Yeah, it depends.
Okay.
And actually this is probably going to be my top 5 because it's the only shows that I've really legitimately rewatched.
Okay.
Boy Meets World, probably watched it all the way through 10 times.
Okay.
The Office, 5 or 6 times all the way through.
Okay.
Lost.
Ooh.
Every like 5 years, I'll sit down and be like, all right, it's time to rewatch this show.
It's time to go back for it.
As I talked about before, which is another one, Psych, Lost and Psych are my childhood. Okay. That's what I grew up watching.
You were lost on a fucking island? Yeah,
I was lost on an island. Well, I think you played Stranded, didn't you? I think we talked about
a little bit. At one point, a shark did come and eat me. Yes.
That I started watching Survivor. If that tells you anything, I want to be stranded.
You want to be on
an island, and I want to live it. I want to live through this.
Do you think you'd actually get through that, Jake?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh yeah,
but I would
like
try.
to think I'm a tough guy. I would fucking die. No,
I would try. I think I'm resourceful, but I think all of my information that I would have for surviving on an island would come from Lost and Survivor. So it's not great.
Fucking TV.
But I would say those four shows for sure would be in top 5 because it's the only ones that I will sit down and I will watch multiple times. And every once in a while, I'll just be like, all right, it's time for me to rewatch the show.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's 4. I don't know if I can pick a 5th.
5th is hard. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I you know me, I love ranking shit like hardcore. But like you literally, most of those are the same with me. But like I totally I don't even know. I'm big on rewatching the same show, which is why I don't get into the new ones. But I found out that apparently it's something to do with my anxiety to where I want to rewatch it because I know how it's going to end. And that has to, like, I read some fucking journey and something that said it was people that watch the same TV shows are afraid of how things end and they want to know how it's going to end in it. What I'm not saying it very philosophical, but
no, I get
like, don't ever read me like that ever again, internet assholes.
Don't fully identify with who I am.
Don't you fully read me in an article, okay?
I see that. And
it's true,
that might be why I do not like rewatching stuff because I know how it ends. And it has to be that good that I want to rewatch it.
Yeah. But I think all the shows I rewatch are basically comedies, though. Like I'm rewatching Parks and Rec again because I'm like, God damn, this show's funny as shit. And I had to think for a second, almost dethroned The Office because it's fucking hysterical.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
I think another thing that goes into that is comedies are easy to watch in the background.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit there and pay attention.
Yeah. And I'm big on that. I'm one of those. I want TV, something in the background when I go to sleep. I want, if I'm playing a video game, put on a show that's there. Like that's like my thing, which is weird, I guess. Like a game like a nonsense, like playing Madden. I like to fucking play Madden. Parks and Rec on the background. Kind of weird, but like that's the thing that I do apparently. Do you hate the nickname Jakey? I know we've talked about this a few times. Do you hate that nickname?
I wouldn't say I hate it. I don't.
I freely call you.
You
Jakey.
call me Jakey
all the time.
I also don't like being called Jacob, and Scott and Winston both call me Jacob. So
I've never in my life called you Jacob.
I hate it. I don't like Jakey because it makes me sound like I'm 5 years old. But it's your nickname for me, so I can't be like, no, don't call me that. Because then if you started calling me Jake, it would be weird.
I think I definitely call you Jakey more when I'm drinking.
It's better than
I'm big
Jakey
on nicknames.
Poo.
I like. Okay,
I
would
hate
never fucking
Jakey
call you.
Poo.
Who the fuck calls you Jakey Poo?
We can't get into this.
Oh, okay. Is it your mom?
No, she calls me. I don't know what does my mom call me? Son, Jake,
son. Come here.
Does she call me Jakey? I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Okay. All right. So one of the things you brought up. So you're a big fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Huge fan. I'm a huge nerd. That's my shtick.
All right. So why is that your shtick? What gets you into like? I mean, I love the Marvel. I wouldn't say it's my shtick, but I love it too. Why is it that like you live for like the Marvel movie comes out? Fuck it, let's go, dude. Well, but I'm like that though too. Though I love to see every new Marvel movie because they're fucking like the biggest thing. But I know you're a huge fan.
It's a solid question because when it comes to comics, I don't read them. I am not a comic book nerd, but I just remember Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was one of my favorite movies at the time. So I was a huge Spider-Man fan. And I keep touching on this, but I think it's something to do with me as a child. It's the nostalgia. Our generation is all about nostalgia. Spider-Man was a huge nostalgic thing, which is crazy because Marvel didn't even put Spider-Man in until way later.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the love of that character and just I love a storyline that is not just flat out told directly to me, this is what happening. Okay. Or this is what happening. I love the idea of Marvel that you get this plot line in 2008 and it doesn't connect to anything until 2012.
You're in for the long game.
Yeah, I'm in for the long haul. Marvel is one of my favorite series. I'll talk about it to no end.
Okay, so what do you have like a favorite? What's your favorite Marvel movie that you've ever seen? Yeah, like
it might be biased, but No Way Home.
No Way Home. No Way Home was fucking dope shit. I remember losing my fucking.
I left that movie and I was shook. I didn't even know how to feel. It was amazing. You know what I love to talk about, and you might not love to talk about?
Go for it.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh God. Okay. All right. I mean, yeah. Okay. So everyone knows my opinion on Dungeons and Dragons. I'm a part of a D&D campaign that I got roped into. Definitely liked it more than I fucking thought about it before.
You love it.
It's okay. I just drink and do dumb shit during it.
The amount of conversations you and I have had about your character.
It's fucking stupid. Can't even.
Like, I don't know if I can do this. I was like, I don't even know. Well, let me tell you.
I don't even know. But why is it that you love it so much, Jake?
I think the biggest thing is it was something that kept my friendships together.
Okay.
And again, as most people can agree, it is something that I started when the pandemic hit and I had a lot of free time. And one of my friends from Japan invited me to do a month, like small campaign. It was only supposed to be the month of May. And it was something I always was interested in doing it because it's role playing. It's literally my favorite type of video game is an RPG. Okay. So it's my favorite genre, medieval or fantasy, whatever you want to call that. Favorite type of game style. And then I get to make all the decisions and affect the game. Whereas a video game, yeah, you can kind of affect it, but it has a goal. It has an end goal, and it's going to end the same way every single time. So I was like, I want to do this. And he invited me to do this, and it was supposed to be a month. We're still playing it 2.5 years later. And just the fact that you get to do kind of whatever you want to do. And I know how you feel. You feel you can't do anything that you want to do.
No, I don't fucking let me just punch people. I don't let me to fucking do half the shit I want to do in there.
But I've always enjoyed it. And I love character creation. One of the things I love about RPGs, video game wise, is creating a character, creating a style of character who does magic or who does sword fighting, whatever.
You really seem to like transforming your, not, I don't know if transforming is the best word, but like you love to see yourself in a whole nother way. Like you love the fact that you can kind of, in D&D, you can play a whole nother character, and I'm not Jake anymore, I'm this. You love to be kind of transfixed in a world when you're watching a TV show and you're transfixed there. When we talk about movies, we like to talk about in our group, or like when we talked about Spartacus or whatever the fuck it was, we cast like who's this character, who's this, who's who in Boy Meets World, who's who in How I Met Your Mother, who's who in the Marvel universe. You love to do that a lot.
I do love to do that.
Why is that? If you could get more in depth, I know that was like I read you a little bit there, but that's because I'm the podcast host.
I'm the podcast king.
I'm the king.
That's
but I just find that interesting because I'm like that too. I like to visualize myself in different ways a lot, and I just think that it's kind of cool that you really do enjoy that, and a lot of things that you say kind of shine on that light.
I think I definitely enjoy kind of analyzing who people are. And the best way to do that when you're a fan of video games and TV shows and movies is to pick a character from the show and then say, this is how that person is. This person relates to that character in our friend group.
Okay.
And I think it's also with a lot of the TV shows, like you mentioned, How I Met Your Mother, The Office, Parks and Rec. The reason those shows are so successful is they have relatable characters. They have characters in that show that you're like, that's who I am in that show.
Yeah.
And I love just analyzing people. That I mean, that's what I kind of majored in, was being able to read people. And I just love being able to be like, you are this person. And then people go, you're 100% correct. That is exactly who that person is. I also love casting our friend group because I try to pick the leader for myself every single time.
Every time. I've noticed that, Mormon.
I picked Iron Man,
but we're always like, but it works out though, because it's like Dustin's like, who's Dustin? Like, whoever just like does dumb shit or whatever. I don't know.
Dustin is Joey from Friends.
Always.
I don't like who I get put as.
Jake, come on. That was actually one of the I did want to get into that. You're 1000% Chandler.
Yeah.
You are literally probably the most sarcastic person I've met. Which I don't know if anyone has caught on to some of the things during this podcast. Jake is incredibly sarcastic, because you had brought up something earlier that it comes for a full circle now, where you were saying they get my humor. You're so sarcastic. There'd be times I'll even say, you'd say something like, Jake, fucking, if you give me one more sarcastic fucking comment right now, like I knew you were gonna say that. Like I knew you were gonna do that. Were you always very sarcastic, like growing up and everything?
No, I personally think I was very different in high school than I was in college. And in high school, I feel like I had everyone expected me to be the easygoing, like
goes with the flow.
Yeah, and kind of the uplifter, the hype man, if you will.
Okay.
And it was a lot of responsibility. Everyone knows in high school you're going through a lot of shit. And I was also going in high school during emo time. So alternative.
Were you an emo in high school?
No, I absolutely not. But I think people just expected me to always be the happy person who's never gonna have any sort of problem with anything. And I definitely did, because everyone does.
Yeah.
And I think when I got to college is when I kind of was able to actually be the more cynical person that I am.
So like you were like almost harboring that for a
Yeah.
while, and you're like, I really want to, like, this let the real me out. Let me out.
Also, if you know my brother at all, I think I am tame compared to
Oh my
him.
God. Your brother, at one point, we're on a Zoom during quarantine, and I've always thought that Jig's brother just fucking hates me. And at one point, we're on it, like we were living for code names. We're playing code names together. He hated being my partner. But then at one point,
you weren't good at the game. So.
fuck you, dude. My favorite game. I'm very good at it.
No, I'm sure you're great. Also, anytime we ever played, we didn't get very far because we were all very drunk.
But at one point, I said to your brother, Josh, and I go, Josh, I feel like you don't like me. And then he, without hesitation, Dustin, I don't know how else to say this. I don't think about you. I was like, shit. Ah.
Yep. That
is so fucking funny.
One of my favorite lines that Josh has said, and it was recently, I think it was last year. I like to say long story short, even if my stories aren't that short. And I go, long story short, and I go, blah, 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 blah. And he looks at me and goes, that wasn't short enough, and just walked away. But yes, that is who he is. And I think just growing up with him, I became the same way. And yeah, I'm sarcastic. I don't know how many times I've had to tell people who just meet me, hey, I don't mean 99% of the things I say. You might think that I hate you. I don't. If I'm joking with you, it actually means I like you.
Yeah, I think it's I know as a close friend, I'm not even lying to you. There are times where I'm like, Jake, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, just fucking tell me something. Just fucking stop it.
I hide behind jokes.
Yeah, but I love that. I mean, do you feel like you use it as a crutch? I'm a therapist. Yes, I do. 100% do. 100% do. Don't read into it, Dustin.
I want to give a shout out to our host, Dustin Sutliff, Drinks on Dusty, and he gave me this idea: a bowl full of ice that you keep by your side to fill up your drink.
Now,
then you don't have to leave ever.
But mine all turned into water now. So
I
definitely wasted.
I definitely been drinking.
No, it's because I had a lot of ice in that fucking bucket.
You did.
I did. But yeah, I don't know if you stood by that or thought that fact, because someone was telling me, and it made sense, I guess, because when I talk about, The Dark Knight's a great movie, it's because of Heath Ledger.
Yes,
now I think
absolutely.
Christian Bale is a good Batman. I get it. I just am like, I like the movie, but definitely Heath's Joker is the reason I love that movie so much.
And I'll throw this out there, because one thing we haven't talked, and I didn't even think about it until right now, I'm a huge Batman fan.
Yes,
huge Batman.
Huge Batman.
Within reach of me right now is a Batman piggy bank, because why not? But
I got a question about Batman, but continue this thought.
Well, I was just gonna say the new Batman might be my favorite.
The best?
Yeah.
I definitely
so good.
So good. The fight shit was fucking incredible. Have you seen all the TikToks though, where they're definitely making fun of him, where they're like, this is Christian Bale. Like, there was one TikTok I saw about like some dudes doing a bench press. So, like, this is Robert Pattinson's Batman, and he can't get the weight up.
Oh.
And then there's like Christian Bale's Batman, and then there's Ben Affleck's Batman, who's like 8,000 pounds.
Here's my thought on that, and this actually comes from Winston Nowak, but I 100% agree. This movie, The Batman, is early Batman. He has not buffed up like Batman should be. So a lot of people talk about how he's very emo and he just kind of like doesn't care about anything, but
he's in the early stages of this happened right after, or this is what he chose to do, and he hasn't gotten the full effect of what Batman should be in the
exactly. And I think
that's a honestly, good point.
I think it was perfect. Now, granted, if the next movie he's the exact same way, then I won't believe in that anymore, and I'll think he's terrible. But
yeah,
I think it was planned, and that's why I think it was amazing.
That makes sense. I love that. I had a conversation. I had a conversation with Miles about how when I think of the superhero Batman, I think of the whole story, everything about Batman. I just think of a very dark, interesting superhero where everything is this. It's a whole dark type of background or dark story with it, where he's going through this huge trauma. Everything should be very cynical and creepy in a sense, or something like that. And to Miles's point, he brought up, I do have a point, please bear with me, but he was saying when Batman was created, it was this huge jokey fucking creation. Like right. Batman, like Adam West's Batman is like, it's like a joke. It's funny.
It's very campy.
Thank you. That's the better word. And me, I can't see Batman like that for some reason. I don't see Batman as campy. But then when he was telling me, he was like, look at these fucking villains. There's a guy who dresses like a fucking clown.
There's an egg.
There's a guy who says he's the Riddler who makes riddles everywhere. But yet we've all just considered to see that it needs to be this incredibly dark stuff. But like, if you think of the most notable villains in the world, in any superhero verse, all of them come from the fucking Batman arc. If you tried to say, if you were like, give me fucking 5 villains right now, I would venture to say a lot of them come from that Batman universe. But we associate it in this whole dark way. What are your thoughts on everything bullshit I just said there, or your opinion? Sorry.
I would agree about the villains, but I don't know if it's necessarily Batman. I think it's DC, because when we were growing up, DC was way bigger than Marvel. Like the Justice League TV show, the cartoons were DC.
Yeah.
So you had you had the Joker in everything. You had the Penguin in everything.
The fucking Penguin.
But nowadays, I mean, I think the first supervillain that anyone is ever going to mention is Thanos. Like, but that's just because Marvel is huge now.
That's a good point, I guess.
But I would still say that Joker's in every adaptation of Batman. You can't do Batman without the Joker. You literally can't, because people just expect it.
Yeah, they just expect it and want it. Yeah, but I don't know. Do you see it? Like, I always like, how does he become what is so great about Batman? Like, I always get upset when they don't understand, like, because he was trained by the fucking League of Assassins. So the whole reason why he's a fucking deathly fighter is because he was trained by the League of Assassins. And maybe it's just because the Arrowverse that I think of this as such a prominent fucking thing. But what else would make him like, yeah, he's got a billionaires that do things, but like with gadgets and shit. But it's his fighting, which is why I love the new Batman, because it's showing this harsh fighting style. Because that's what's so scary about him, is he's trained by the League of Assassins to fucking be able to kill somebody with a hand, but he chooses not to kill people.
Yeah.
He doesn't use whatever. And I think it always gets glossed over, which I think could be way more of a prominent thing in the whole Batman story that doesn't get talked about as much.
Also, one of the reasons I love the Batman with Robert Pattinson is the LA noir style that this movie is. And I think the Riddler made it amazing because it became a detective story. Like, you literally watch him try and solve this mystery. And I love mysteries, so I was full send.
All full on board.
Love that movie. I remember saying during that car chase,
Oh,
I don't think I took a breath.
It was sick. I will say it started off a little slow, but I got it though.
Yes.
What I think the argument was, and I think we probably talked about this in our group chat, like a lot of slow things, but what I loved about it is when they hit, it hit. Like it was little methodical at the beginning, but then when he beat the shit out, like the fight scene came with the first one, fucking powerful because it's slow, methodical, boom, 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 quick.
It was the definition of a slow burn for sure.
Yeah. But like,
also, who's your favorite Spider-Man? Go.
Tom Holland. Perfect.
Yes.
He's perfect. He's the best.
He was
the perfect mix because of the quippy nature that he has. He's the Spider-Man I grew up with.
I feel like Andrew Garfield was pretty quippy.
I will say I never gave Andrew Garfield a chance because I remember seeing the first movie and for some reason not because I think it was like Tobey Maguire, like that's my Spider-Man, who the fuck is this guy, whatever.
It was like typical teenage angst. You're like, you're not Tobey Maguire.
Yeah
You'll never be Tobey Maguire. But then when Tom Holland came, we were old enough to be like, hey, someone else could play Spider-Man.
Yeah. And I think for also what's really weird though is I had this hang up about how the webs weren't natural when I saw the Andrew Garfield movie.
Yes, which is
for some reason, but that's how, the correct. Yeah, that's how it was written. But for some reason, with me, I had this whole hang up on the fact of Tobey Maguire. Like, no, he should just have Spider-Man. Like, webs should just come out of him. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What's the point of him being bit by a spider? But now it all makes more sense to me. Like all of it. I'm like, oh, he gets bit by a spider. That gives him his extra strength and speed and resiliency and tingle, whatever the fuck. And then I sat down and watched the Andrew Garfield movies. I was like, these were good. And then I was like, there hasn't been a bad Spider-Man.
No.
And then I'm like, fuck, I almost think Garfield was better than Tobey's, even though I grew up on Tobey's. I like the way he shot his, like the whole cinematic thing about the well. Like I'll probably still would go with Tobey if you had to put a gun to my head, but it was way better than I thought. I had this whole misconception of it, but Tom Holland is the perfect Spider-Man. Like he's everything I think of when I think of Spider-Man: sarcasm, quick-witted, like everything about it.
I 100% agree. Tom Holland, favorite Spider-Man. But there was a meme that was going around that was like, Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield, I'm gonna mess this up. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. But Tom Holland is the best at both of them combined.
They both had different, I think, like you said, Garfield's web shooting.
Garfield was the best Peter Parker. Tobey was the best Spider-Man. Tom Holland was the best at both of them combined.
I think that is perfectly put. Yeah. I think that's spot on. Is the Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield was fucking phenomenal.
Speaking of our friendship and casting each other as characters and Marvel, we literally did that with the Avengers.
We did.
And I was, of course, Iron Man.
Who was I, Jake? I think I actually faltered.
You were Thor
too.
You were Thor.
We said Thor, but like
you were more Hulk because you don't know what he's capable of.
I don't know what I'm capable of, dude.
It's time for Rapid Shots.
Got 10 questions for you, Jake Morman. Are you ready?
Okay. No, I am. Let's go.
No, I'm not. Oh, God, I hate everything. All right.
It's like word association. I'll just say the first thing that comes to my mind.
No, Pinnacle. I asked you what book.
Rapid Shots.
Rapid Shots. All right. Jake's Rapid Shots. Question number 1. What's your superpower of choice?
Definitely mind reading.
Ooh. Favorite cartoon show?
Scooby-Doo. Do I have anything in reach? I don't think I do.
I knew it was gonna be Scooby-Doo.
I knew you knew.
What was your first impression of Dusty?
Oh God. Do you really want to know?
I do want to know. That's the point I put this question in every week.
I thought you were a douche. only because you walked in. Dustin Sutliff, nice to meet you. I gotta go find my best friends.
Jake, I have been waiting numerous episodes for someone to finally say douchebag.
But
Nobody has said it. I'm glad
think
that one of my best friends
I
is
think
the
that's
first
our
person.
friendship. And I think
But
I told
know.
you several times. That's the first thing I thought.
Love that. First impression douche. All right. Favorite dog breed?
Oh, I can't answer that. I don't know. I love golden retrievers. Shout out to Barry.
Shout out to Barry.
Nowak.
All right. What's your favorite word? What's your favorite word to use?
Oh God. This is tough. My favorite word to use. My favorite word is I love talking about myself.
I love talking about me.
Okay, it's not a word, and this just came to me, so I'm gonna say it. But I love saying past tense or words that end in ed and emphasize the ed. So first thing that comes to mind is, you know, the cursed child.
Yeah.
I love saying the cursed child.
Or
anything like, I can't think of another example, but
I don't know how we're friends. If that's your answer, that's the wildest.
What's your favorite word? Literally?
Dope.
Oh.
Dope. Dope's my favorite word.
Dope is a dope word.
Dope is a dope word.
I don't know. That's tough. I don't have a favorite
word.
It
is a tough one. All right. What's your drunken food choice when you're drunk? Like, what's your like drunken food? First thing you want to have?
DeLeon's,
baby.
I still to this day there are.
How many DeLeon's are there in Omaha?
In Omaha, I think there's 3.
Okay. DeLeon's is Jake. Tell the fam what DeLeon's is.
Okay, so we were introduced to DeLeon's in college because it was on 98th. Is that what? No, 48th.
Oh yeah, 48th. I was like,
it was on 48th. And
we couldn't afford the suburbs.
It is open, I think 24/7.
The ones in Omaha
that we had, was the one in Lincoln was.
Our specific one. I'm pretty sure that one's closed now though. But yes, that one was open 24 hours.
And it's Mexican food. I would get a burrito. I get the grilled chicken burrito.
Big ass burritos.
It's huge. One of my favorite Dustin quotes, and it has nothing to do with DeLeon's, but he was eating DeLeon's at the time. And he said, you know the song, it's from Watch the Throne. What is it called? And they sample, we're going to skate to one song and one song only, My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh yeah.
What she order? Fish fillet. And Dustin goes, what she order? Creme brulee. And it's one of my favorite Dustin quotes.
What?
And he was eating a DeLeon's burrito.
I don't fucking
while saying this. But DeLeon's, great drunk food. My favorite. There's one, it's further east, so it's nothing I get to go to that often. But when I'm out downtown Omaha and I come back to Elkhorn, I try to stop.
When I was back in Nebraska, especially for like, I would be like, if I know I was getting drunk, I'm gonna go get one time my sister, I'll go pre fucking get a DeLeon's burrito, put it in my sister's fridge because he's usually where I stay at when I'm visiting, and have it there, then go out and then come back so I have the burrito there. And one night she hid it from me, so I come back in drunk as shit and I'm looking for the burrito and she hid it, and she's videotaping me laughing her ass off because I'm so frustrated that I can't find my fucking burrito. That's what we do for these burritos, everybody. They're the best.
The title of the song is not appropriate, so we won't say it, but you all know the song. Okay. Also, best advice Natasha has ever given the two of us that we did not ever once.
Natasha's my sister.
She said, hey, here's an idea. You guys need to buy McDonald's before you drink and put it in the fridge. So then when you're craving McDonald's when you're drunk, you don't have to go drive and get it. And we said to Tasha, you know what? That's the best idea someone has ever told us. It's genius. You should market it. We never fucking did it once.
We never did it one time.
It was a great idea.
Great idea. Great idea. All right. Would you rather, Jake, travel to the past or to the future?
Future, hands down.
Future. Oh,
yeah.
I was expecting you to say past, actually. Why future?
Because history was never my strong point.
Okay. Fucking jeez.
Actually, you know what though? The past has some great.
I'm saying, Jake, if we could go travel to the past and me and you just be like announcers for our life in those couple years of college, would hate a few things, would live for watching us do some shit.
Also, if I like Peaky Blinders, shout out, season 6 just came out on Netflix. And
okay, you're not sponsored by the show, Jake. They're not gonna know.
They could. But that time frame is so cool. I want to be part of the Peaky Blinders.
I don't even know what the Peaky Blinders
is. Run, don't walk.
What does that mean? What are you talking about?
Like don't walk to go watch it. Run to go watch it.
Oh, got it. Cool.
Gotcha.
All right.
Cillian Murphy.
All right, Jake. This is a big one.
Oh, okay.
Who wins in a fight?
Me.
Batman or Spider-Man?
Oh,
I was so proud of this when I wrote this on the train.
I
was like, dude, this is gonna get him. This is gonna get him.
I would, and okay, I would have to say Batman, but there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Because I think Batman will beat Superman. So therefore, Batman should also be able to beat Spider-Man because Batman is tactical and he knows his enemy's weaknesses. So therefore, he would beat Spider-Man.
The fact that you ever think Batman would beat Superman is ridiculous. And I want to be clear here.
Hey, have you seen Batman versus Superman?
Oh, that shitty movie where they talked about how they have the same.
They're both like, our mom's name is Martha. Let's be friends.
Okay.
Which
Spider-Man whooped Batman's ass. Let me be
my personal opinion about the Godzilla versus Kong movie.
I mean, Godzilla should have won that.
They didn't say it, but there was that scene where they were both like, our mom's name are Martha, and then they started working together. I'm just saying, it was the same scene.
No, are you talking about Kong versus like
Kong versus whatever it was called?
No, I think in that movie it was pretty clear that Godzilla wins. They made it clear. Like at one point, it was like Godzilla could have died, but Kong would have died. But Godzilla goes, all right, dude, you put up a fight. Like, I'm gonna let you live. And then they work together. Yes.
Yeah.
But Godzilla was the clear winner. In
they
that
both
fight,
looked at each other and they were like, our mom's name is Martha.
Okay, yeah, they had that moment, I guess. But Godzilla whooped his ass, and then, makes sense. He shoots fucking shit out of his mouth. Okay. All right. What mythical creature would you wish was real?
A griffin.
What is a griffin, Jake Morman?
Isn't it like a cross between a...
Okay, you can't ask me what it is and then say it, like, because I don't know what it is.
Oh, he legitimately does not know what a griffin is.
I don't.
It's like a cross between a lion and a bird. Like, I think hippogriff from Harry Potter, but instead of a bird and a horse, it's like a lion, bird, horse. I don't really know, but they're dope.
It's a bird, horse, lion. Maybe
it's a lot of
things.
Who fucking knows? I could be wrong. All you watchers out there, tweet me. Let me know I'm wrong.
Tweet me, sis. One of the new segments we're going to be doing in the next couple episodes of Drinks on Dusty is what I'm going to be calling the Mannerism section. Okay. What I mean by this is, like I've said, is these are the people that have known me for a long time. My closest people, my best friends.
Too long.
What I'm going to be asking them is to name or give me 5 or so mannerisms that Dusty does that they have witnessed in these years. For Jake's example, 10 years that he's seen me, things that I do, say, actions, whatever it means to them. And I will also go back with them on mannerisms or things about them. For Jake, I'm going to go first here. So we're going to do this for the next couple episodes with my people in these episodes. There's a little new thing added to it, right? So I'm going to talk about a couple of Jakerisms. Okay? Some things that I think that Jake does or whatever. Some of them might be opposite. Some of them might have come out through our whole conversation. But I'll be in depth, and Jake, feel free to question any of them that I come up with, okay?
I can't object to some of them.
Yeah, object.
I don't agree with that.
Fuck you, dude. No, I don't do that. All right. The number one thing I said, number one Jakerism, sarcasm. There is not one thing that Jake's gonna say. If I'm talking about something, if I tell him that's a Coke bottle, he'd be like, "Oh, I wonder if it was a Coke bottle. I don't know." And it says Coke on a thing. There's not gonna be one fucking thing that'll be said where there's not a night that I'm with Jake. There's not going to be a sarcastic comment made about something that's even as obvious as whatever. There will not be a night that doesn't happen. That is the number one Jakerism off the top. Like, first thing, like, that's one. Do you agree or disagree?
I 100% agree. And to the point that you're a close friend of mine if I'm not always sarcastic with you.
True.
If you have a deep conversation with me, then you've made it.
You made it to the top of the line.
And that's saying something because I'm sarcastic a lot.
Okay. Number 2. I mean, I'll do whatever. I feel like you say that all the time because I feel like you're one of those people that will say we could do this, but I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever you want to do.
I think
you say that in trying to get us to do the one thing, but you say I'll do whatever because you want to be nice.
I'm up for anything, but
I'd rather us do this, but I'll do whatever. I'm Jake. I'll do whatever.
God,
I thought of that today, and
honestly, I probably literally said that today to you. I was like, I'm up for anything. I'll do whatever.
That was a big thing that I came up with. Agree or disagree?
Absolutely agree.
Okay.
Because I have my strict things that I want to do, but I also don't want to be the person who just takes control of everything.
You don't want to be
Yeah, this is what I want to do, but hey, I'll do whatever.
That's fine. All right. Jakerism number 3, drunken deep talks. When Jake gets into a very drunken state, Jake wants or thrives on having very deep conversations about us, about whatever it is. He wants to have those deep intimate talks when he's in a drunken state. That's how I know Jake is like, oh, Jake's a little drunk now, because he wants to have these meaningful, intimate conversations.
I hate small talk. Hate it with a burning passion.
Hates the small talk. Wants the real talk. Jake wants the fucking juice. Okay. Agree or disagree?
I agree.
God, I'm doing pretty good right now.
These are good. Way better than what I came up with.
Dustin likes the color blue. He likes the color yellow. See, I know you. I don't know if this one kind of combines with 2 a little bit. And I might question this one a bit. Jakerism number 4. Well, that's it. I feel like you say that and you'll go.
I mean, my most used emoji is
honestly, maybe it's not the well, and maybe it's more the like that. That's no. Like if I said, "Well, I think Amy was at first astronaut on the moon." There's something like that.
I think what you're getting at is I don't know about that one.
Maybe that's
a lot. I don't know about that.
So maybe that's that makes a lot.
But it goes hand in hand with this.
It does go hand in hand.
Well, it's literally I don't know about that one.
So yeah, along those lines. Okay. And then the mannerism number 5, Jakerism number 5 that I came up with is we talked about this a little at the beginning, doing the old faithful. The same thing. Jake wants that once we're doing the 2 for $20 at Applebee's. We're getting the mott sticks. We're going to go to Arby's. Why the fuck are we not going to Arby's for lunch? We all know we like Arby's. Why are we even trying to go somewhere else? We all know we want Arby's. That's Jake wants to do the old faithful, the old reliable. And why the fuck are we breaking from that too? Okay,
broke, don't fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Jake is all about that. And those are my 5 Jakerisms.
Dude,
that I
those
have.
were so good.
They're so good.
I should have gone first. You should have known yours were better than mine, and therefore said no. Jake,
I didn't think mine were going to be as good. There's a couple. I wasn't sure if you were going to get them.
Okay, so my first Dustyism is that.
There we go. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah.
Okay.
The Dustyism, man.
The Dustyism that I came up with was, and this is hard to explain because it's not something that you can just. I think most of mine are things that you're just going to have to do to prove that I am correct. Okay. When Dustin tells a story, whether it be made up or legitimate, he comes up with character names. He comes up with voices for these characters, and it could straight up be a made up story. And he has, well, I was talking to Penny, and Penny was like, "Hey, now, and like he deep dives into these stories. It's incredible when he tells stories.
Oh, that is so that you're so spot on. I have to have a different voice anytime I talk about somebody, and that could be nowhere near what their voice is, but that's how it's in my head. So that's what I'm saying.
And going back to Boy Meets World, and I think of this scene anytime you tell one of these stories, when Eric Matthews goes, and I told myself, Kyle, I call myself Kyle. I was like, that is the epitome of Dustin telling a story. Karen, she was like, I'm not going to give you this hamburger. You didn't know her name was Karen, but you called her that. I'll go with the story and I'll say it, and it could be like, but I'm just trying to continue to the meat and potato of the fucking story. Yeah. Like, her name was. Did you really say that? I'm like, no, I know I said it like this, but like this is the point of the story. Okay, can you fucking like follow along with me? You're spot on. I totally agree with that. That's fucking great. I love that. My next one that I came up with, which I mean, you're going to have to do, because I don't remember it perfectly, but I believe it's woo.
I haven't done that in forever. Really? I haven't done that in so long.
I think of you all the time. Woo! That's it.
I feel like that's more what it was.
Yeah, also, this is the good one.
Yeah, that's that's a.
I literally do this because of you.
Yeah, the fucking hang loose sign, whatever that means. Yeah,
that's
literally looks like you're juggling 2 dicks in your fucking hand. And you go,
maybe you should have came up with yours. That
I mean, I feel like I know mine pretty well, but I want to see what everyone else says.
Also, you did this earlier, and I go, "Oh, that's perfect." It's that freaking voice you do. I can't even replicate it. It's the.
I don't want to go down and do that.
I don't want to do that. I can't even do it, but I
don't want to go down there and get it.
Yep, that's it.
That whole thing.
I love Papa's coming.
Pop. Can't even do it. Papa's coming to town.
You went into that voice. I think you said one word in, and I was like, "Oh, that's a Dustyism for sure."
I kind of get that from my literally hero right now is Pat McAfee. He talks in these certain ways, and I've fell in love, and I've definitely stolen or taken some of the ways that he does it, and it's just like now I'm part of my natural speak. But I also, there's a comedian too that I love that he does it too, and it's just like I just kind of made it my own little thing, and it's just trying to be a dipshit or trying to I'm a big fucking deal. Okay.
That's it.
So that's very fucking good. I do that all the fucking time.
Probably the biggest Dustyism
Okay.
is shotgunning a beer. Hands down.
Okay. I love that.
I cannot think.
See, these are different than I thought you
shotgunning.
would come up with too. I love that.
After we're done, you'll have to tell me what, because obviously you can't tell me before everyone else says their Dustyisms, but I would love to hear what.
But that's so spot on.
I also Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, double chug. But yeah, I mean, that was a whole thing in college. Like a whole freshman year was the fact of me just shotgunning fucking beers and being like a fucking carnival man, and people telling me to, like, I remember my girlfriend at the time like, but watch how he shotguns a beer, and doing that. We would
It was a spectacle.
Yeah, it was a fucking thing, and like getting people to do it, and like it was like we would go out and people would be like, oh, well, let's shotgun a beer with Dustin. Like it's an inclusive fucking thing. Like we're in a shotgun, and that's how my entire freshman year. That's how I drank beer, was shotgunning beer. And then I remember I couldn't shotgun a beer for the longest time because that's how I did it so much. I became like sick of it. I couldn't do it anymore.
And I legitimately, anytime I shotgun a beer, it's like, well, where's Dustin? He should be here right now. Do you remember it was a 4th of July party where we made that epic drink.
Epic.
And you shotgun a beer with somebody else, and it's on camera.
Amy Adams, I'm pretty sure Miles was there, and you literally go, shotgun king coming out of retirement, or like you were my biggest fan.
I did the videoing, and you finish it in probably 3 seconds. And then we sit there for 30 more seconds while Amy tries to finish hers, and we're like, hey, good job, you did it, you finished it.
Weird, probably sad talent to have, but yeah,
it's
you were always
trick for sure.
It's a little bit, yeah, you get into it, but fuck, man, that's a big Dustyism. Yeah, I'm big
that I was like, oh, I literally put shotgunning in parentheses, obviously.
Obviously. I mean, yeah, when the amount of people that will go and be like, when someone goes, I remember one girl, she's like, yeah, I like to shotgun. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't like shotgun beer? You like shotgun beer? Let's shotgun beer right now.
How you doing?
Okay. No, I love that. That's a good one. That's really good, Jakey.
And then I think I'll end. I think this is my 5th one. Last one kind of goes to, well, no, it's different. Animal noises.
You might have to read into that a little bit more, but yeah. That's definitely an old thing. I don't think
it's super old. You probably don't do it anymore. And it's actually, you talked about how I talked about you guys in my best man speech. That was what I talked about with
you brought that up in your speech. Dustin making animal noises.
I still remember the dolphin sound. Yeah. You were all for dolphin noises. The
panda. There'd be just random, Dustin make this animal noise, and then they'll just fucking do whatever the fuck is the first thing that came to my head, and just do something loud and obnoxious. I definitely don't do that anymore, other than every now and again I do a panda noise. But that's a good one.
A deep dive.
That is a deep dive. Deep dive for good old Dustin here. Used to make random ass animal noises all the fucking time.
You're a wild drunk.
What? What do you mean?
I think that's a nice thing to say, right?
I can
There's
be.
So many good stories of when I am sober and you show up and you are not
there.
And it's wild.
I've definitely
crawled into my apartment on all fours pretending to be a panda.
Oh God.
And that was not weird. That was Dustin.
It was like, all right, Dustin's here now.
He's back.
I definitely let, but I will say that what's great about that is I had friends that embraced and loved that side of me that I don't think I got to let out for a long time or was accepted to do whatever it was. Y'all let me do that and like made like y'all said that it was funny, like it was fun, like you embraced it and it was like a quirk that Dustin's here. And I think that's something that I love so much and appreciate so much about our friend group, because y'all made it seem like I was the coolest person in the room sometimes when I was like, I've never felt that way.
I mean, we had to, like, you needed that.
I needed that attention. But y'all, seriously, man, like it propelled me and made me feel so much more confident in certain things, because I felt like it was, Dustin's gonna do this and it's gonna be like, y'all made me look cooler, better than I could ever should have been.
Yeah, we're straight up losers.
Yeah, y'all fucking dweebs.
But I also,
but you know what I mean though, like you appreciated it and you just accepted this dipshit motherfucker and being a fucking goofball or whatever, and you just were like, that's Dusty, and it just made me feel cool. It was, you would laugh at my like it was, I just hadn't had that, and it was fucking really cool.
I think we all were that way for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're all weird.
Yeah,
we all do weird things, and I think that's why we all love each other, because of those weird things that we do.
We embrace every quirk that each one of us has, and we love them because of that quirk, not in spite of it, because of that. I love the sarcasm, Jake. I love the Winston's. I don't even know. Winston's bullshit.
Winston's just Winston.
Winston's just Winston.
He's a sassy bitch.
But yeah, we embrace each other with that. Woo! Okay. Whew. Well, that's the end of Drinks on Dusty. Here we go. So, Jake, do you have anything coming up? Anything you want us to follow you on? Anything going on that you want us to, like, you can, do a little plug here?
Yeah, I have a lot of things I have to plug. I don't. If I had to plug one thing, it is the D&D podcast that I'm on.
Shout out
to and all that stuff. We're gonna get so many followers from this, I can tell. I talked about this earlier, but we started in May of 2020 and we still are playing. I play as a Leonin barbarian fighter, and I am a firm believer of Hades. Shout out. And we just have a lot of fun and we get into weird things. We're called the Revengers, not to be confused with the Avengers. But yeah, and all that stuff. That's really the only thing I can plug, because you can find me on social media, but there's not much to look at. So.
There's lots to look at. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah, you can find him. I mean, he'll be tagged on this whole post and everything. Jake, it has been an honor to have you on here. It's been a pleasure. It's been fucking incredible. Loving reconnecting with you again, and thank you for your openness and hanging out with me and drinking with me. And you're one of my best friends. You're one of my people. You're my people, and I fucking love you, my dude, and love you till the fucking moon blows up and ends, I guess. I don't know.
That got dark.
I know, it got a little dark, but what are we gonna do? But thanks for being on, brother, and I appreciate everything about you, man. You're fucking the best, and I can't wait to see the next thing happen for you. And just thanks for taking time to be on the fucking stupid ass podcast, man.
Thank you, because we've been talking about this for 2 years now, and it finally happened.
It happened.
I love it. It was fun. I had a blast.
So, follow, download, subscribe to Drinks on Dusty. Keep making us grow. Shout out to everyone that keeps listening. Special shout outs to Adam Rice, Winston Nowak, Scott Shoemaker. Fuck you guys. And
we talked about you a lot, so
talked about you a
get
lot,
used
so
to it.
But thanks everybody for listening, and I appreciate all the support. Cheers, and God bless everybody. Drinks on Dusty. We out.
Peace.
That was good. The piece was good.
Deuces.